Nice song there by Zang. That was nice to get us going. So our Friday night podcast, starting tonight on a Friday night. No more Sundays just now, because of early work on a Monday. Honestly, it's a killer. But we're going for Friday this week anyway, and it's an absolutely brilliant album we've got this week. It's another one for the late 90s. We did Lauryn Hill's Miseducational Lauryn Hill last week, and this one is just as iconic. It's Moby and Play. Andy's joining us, and also Adrian. So we've got the team back tonight. Hi guys.
I don't think that's a good idea doing this on Friday. I could end up absolutely pissed by the end of this, you know that?
Yeah, I'm in my wee Peroni, and then I've got some Stella to go.
Oft.
It's just going to sit beside me. You might see me in the fridge and hear Michael Jackson coming through the door a couple of times.
But you and Adrian, like, water.
I'm on a course tomorrow morning, so I'm staying quiet. I'm just on the water.
Yes, there you go. Some fitness kind of thing. That
Any
green stuff
will be highly appreciated. But
what's that green stuff all you fitness folk drink? Looks like grass. The green shots.
Oh, the fizz sticks type things. I think it's like just crushed up vegetables or dried vegetables. That's about it. But no, I'm not into that. No.
The fizz stick things.
I like to steam my veg. So I do. I quite like roasting veg as well. It's got a nice wee bit of oil over it.
Is this the tone the podcast is going tonight?
Yes, it's a cook show. Master Chefs was on the nights, I think. Anyway. Okay, so great guest tonight. ELEANOR Hill, who is the lead singer of air band Zang. Zang are a great band. So Zang, Ellie will tell us more about them. But we know Sean McPhail, the guitarist.
No Donald, Zang. Bass player.
Donald, the bass player.
Alan, the drummer.
And Alan, the drummer. Yeah. Alan cuts my grass round about my hooses, so he does. I've seen Alan a few times actually.
Just cuts your grass or cuts your grass round the hooses? Or?
I know he does all the grass and all the kind of in the estate that I live in.
The estate.
So sometimes he's got to get in through the big gates at the end of the estate, and he comes in and so let's get her on. Eleanor, how you doing? All the way from Arbroath tonight.
Thanks for having me.
No, you're welcome.
No problem at all. Thanks for coming on.
Can I just say, Eleanor must be maybe one of the poshest guests we've ever had on as well.
Oh no, don't say that.
What, Andy, because she can string a sentence together?
Aye, probably, aye.
So, you're in Arbroath. Is this you up there for lockdown, back with the family?
Yeah. With mum and dad.
And see, so she obviously, is it Harley's you work in here, which is probably consistently the live music venue in here. Like a lot of people have always shot, but Harley's have kept the ball rolling a lot. Mm-hmm. So were you in bands anyway? When you were up in Arbroath? And then come down to there? Yeah.
I've been gigging since I was in like high school, doing all those bars that like one person listens to you from like,
Yeah, also, and do you play instruments? Yeah, do you play guitar? Piano?
Yeah, I play mediocre guitar and piano and mediocre violin.
All right, I was going to say just like myself there, but I'm really terrible at guitar and piano, but I'm mediocre at violin. Yeah. So how did you get into Zang then? Because Zang was a 4-piece male-dominated band, and then the singer moved on. So how did that come about?
So I used to get guitar lessons with Sean, and then one day he was just like, when the lead singer Bunny left, he was like, "Do you want to come in and see if you like get on with us and that, and like just sing?" And then went to Sound Magic, and then and enjoy being in that band.
You've totally changed the vibe of the band as well, because your voice is very haunting. I think your voice has got a nice tone. It's got a nice.
Most of the time when we're recording, they're like, because like I belt a lot, so because they're really loud, so like the louder I sing, and they're like, "Can you hit this note?" And then I'm like, "Right, I'm gonna try," and then just like gradually I get louder and louder until like I'm like, I think if someone put a glass in the room, I'd probably be able to shatter it.
I enjoyed the gig you did in Harley's. We played with you as well. That was a really good gig where there was a few songs that stood out was I'm trying to think of the name, but JP Reid, who was kind of helping us record for a while. There was one song that stuck out. Now, was it to do with California, San Francisco or something? Is that right? Am I getting down the wrong road here? It's a kind of dancey, funky tune. You played it kind of near the end.
Yeah, I know the exact one you're on about, but I literally can't remember the name of it.
And I think
It's been that long since we've gigged.
I know, I've written this, like, help write the tune, and I'm like, I don't know.
And in Harley's, do you arrange the music in there, or how does that work?
Yeah, I used to arrange a lot of the gigs, but it's predominantly like Stephen, Muir, and then myself, but mostly Stephen now.
Oh, funky.
Shout out to Funky. Shout out to Funky.
Shout out to Funky.
Shout out to Funky.
Good, so he's doing that. He's spinning a lot of plates, that boy, isn't he?
He's a man of many talents.
Aye.
Don't know about that. Don't know. I disagree with you.
Aye, low handicap in golf, I know, I think.
It will be new.
I apologise if he's here, something going on upstairs, but I think my kids think it like a Friday night as well. I think they can just do whatever they want.
Aye, I've got a Friday night telly on as well in the background because Audrey's there. So
got a disco in the back of mine.
I don't know, and Adrian, I was thinking you were out the night. I was like, what venue are you at the night?
What were they?
That Donald Trump's wallpaper.
It was in the house when I moved in. I never put that up, but I've just obviously not bothered changing it. So
that goes with the Moby theme. He did a tune, We Are All Made of Stars, and that kind of goes with the Moby theme. Okay, so we've got a few viewers tonight coming on already. We've got Craig Anderson, plant-based crap. That's when we're talking about the food, yeah. Alana, evening guys, you're not in the big tail of the night because we're gigging yet. They're on a gig tonight. So we're demoted to the tablet. 23 Universe are doing a live streaming gig tonight. And Sarah Brown's back. We've not seen Sarah for a while.
I've not seen Sarah in a while, aye.
No, she's back.
She's just here to torment me, I think.
Yeah, and let's hope she's not drinking tonight because she can get quite kind of feisty. And Andy will be hiding behind the couch. Okay then, Ellie. So before we go into your album of choice, which is Moby's Play, I think tonight we'll do the Pelikan 4, and it's 4 songs we've all picked from new artists or songs we like and all that, and we're just trying to promote them. Once the song's up, Andy will put a wee link for you to follow the track and follow the artist. But first of all, tonight our guest Eleanor Hill. Ellie, what was your Pelikan 4 song?
It's Strangers by Man of Moon.
Okay. Strangers by Man. And where's Man of Moon from? How do you know they guys? Or is it just a song you heard?
Glasgow, and I heard the tail end of them supporting someone and then just found them through, like, the Spotify suggestion list.
Yeah, and I've got an album out as well, actually. So if you search Man of Moon, Strangers is from their new album, which I had a wee listen to when you sent it through. Quite a nice album. Quite like the intro to the album as well. The intro's it's quite kind of gets you in the mood for it. So great album. So this is, sorry, what was the name again?
Strangers.
Strangers. Yeah. Here we go. Make of that, guys. Adrian?
Tremendous. As soon as you sent that through the other day, I was just like, this is so good. So I was the same. I went on Spotify and was going through all the songs after that.
Yeah, it's a really good. It's a good album. I think we were talking about in future, maybe once we do about 50 of these albums, like from artists that have made it. If you like, we were going to do some like unsigned artists and see where they sit in the chart, and do their kind of albums, because I think we've got enough experience now doing this that we can get a bash. And sometimes I feel that I don't like being in a band and then critiquing other bands, but I mean, why not? So I mean, who cares really? So that's a great tune. Andy's put it's Man of Moon Band. There's the link there. So get them followed. That's a great track. I like the video as well, and that I like those kind of videos. The video was well shot, a live video, so that was brilliant. Now next we've got Adrian. What's your track?
My track this week is by a band called Neon Waltz, who are also from the kind of Glasgow area. And that track was called Strung Up from there. I don't know if we've played with them somewhere or been in the same bill, but again, it was another through similar idea through Spotify, but check it out.
I think we were meant to play with Neon Waltz. I think that was one that got cancelled.
I seen them in the Art Spa.
I've seen them a few times. Aye.
Yeah. But anyway, here we go. This is Strung Up by the brilliant Neon Waltz.
Now I'm stuck in the crowded room. It's been reanimated. I thought I wouldn't be back so soon. But if I'm unordinary, I'll make my bed. You'll find me in solitary within
Excellent. Do you like that, Ellie? Neon Waltz?
Yeah, I love that.
Have you heard like Neon Waltz? They're kind of down.
They played Air quite a few times.
Yeah,
They have, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure they might have played Harley's.
Yeah, I think so.
I think
Could
they
be
have
right.
played Harley's, yeah. I like Harley's the wall at the back. See the back of the stage?
That is cool.
I like the wall at the back of the stage in Harley's with all the kind of names on it. I don't
Oh,
like
yeah.
I don't like the stage position.
Oh yeah, I think a lot of people
Yeah,
people
I don't-
agree.
I don't know. I'd maybe see how you walk in the door and then you've got that bit at the left. I'd move. It's kind of hard then because then you're folk walking in the door, walking past you, aren't you? It's kind of the only bit it can go though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think like before it was Harley's, the stage used to be like at the back. But like obviously I wasn't there when that was about.
But then it's getting folk to
Honestly-
you know.
I still honestly think though that back bit would be a cracking bit for a venue.
It's
You know,
getting folk, it's getting
film
folk
tables
in.
are, you know.
See when there's folk at the front door singing. It's like going to a restaurant
Escape.
and they sit everybody at the window. Do you know what I mean? It makes it look busy. You know. Remember when we did the stuff in the Buff and it was all down the back? Like nobody, we ended up moving it to the front because like there was more folk sitting. Anyway, we're not here to discuss pub stage sets. Alright. So that was Neon Waltz and Sarah Brown liked that. She thinks that's a tune. Jackie, she's glad to see Sarah. She missed you last week. And Zuza, Eleanor's biggest fan here. Tell her to come back to Ayrshire.
You have to drag me back to Ayrshire, Susa.
So you will be coming back, eh?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Ah,
I'm just
yeah,
joking.
Sean McPhail will be like, oh no. Right, okay. So my track this week is from Sian Clark, and the song is called Beautiful Inside. Scott Nichol had sent me this track to promote tonight. Really nice track, and here we go.
break free from that cage. Can't rise above the noise. Someone stole your voice. Just let the words of those who love you sustain. Your life is precious. Just hold on in the storm and in the rain. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful inside and out. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful inside and out.
So that's Sian Clark. I hope I pronounced that right. That's a lovely song, and it's brilliant what Scott does with these young kids. He gets them in, giving them a love of music, and then helping them write songs, and that's a really, should be very proud of that song. Really, really nice.
Definitely,
These
that's a
videos,
cracking pop song.
Yeah.
It's
we'll
got
put
like
together.
Michael Jackson feels and everything for that, so that's really good.
Definitely, Adrian. Yeah, so very good, and good luck in your journey, Sion. Absolutely, good luck. I'll tell you, I hope I pronounced that. Is that how you say it? Sion?
Sion. I think it was Sion Clark. I think.
Yeah.
I hope it's right. That's how the
So
name is, but
Cause see if it's no, Sion's actually quite nice. I'd just change it to that. If it's no, change it to Sion. Hey Andy, what's your Pelican for this week?
we back mainstream this week.
Oasis?
No. No. We've got an unknown artist called Kyle Faulkner this week. Who
Well,
everybody knows
this, man. It's amazing.
the View. Stress Ball. I was trying to think of the name of it. So Stress Ball by Kyle Faulkner. I'll give it a blast and then we'll come back. All right.
Yeah, here we go. Absolutely love that.
I mean, Dynamite.
Same.
And it's been getting a lot of airplay just now on
Thank God, man.
on the BBC radio. I think it was Joe. I listened, believe it or not, I listened to a lot of radio too. And it was Joe Wiley was plugging it really heavy the other day there.
So underrated, that guy. Honest to God. I think I was at a transmit and he was in the second stage and Jerry Cinnamon was in the main stage. And like I was just thinking to myself, see that blows my mind. You heard his cover of What's Love Got to Do With It, Kyle Faulkner's cover of Tina Turner's What's Love Got to Do With It.
I don't think I've heard that.
You will not, I'll play it at the end, you will not hear a better cover of a song than that. I promise you. Listen to Kyle Faulkner, What's Love Got to Do With It. And then you've got that song there, then he did another song in his last album, Family Affair. So underrated. You know, this guy should be, I mean, he was playing Bakers, he's putting the miles in again. He's out there playing the pubs to like 10 folk, and then he's getting bigger gigs and all that. But I mean, the guy, so underrated. He needs to get back up there. But that's a great tune. I think that's going to bring him back. Do you think that?
Oh, definitely.
I think it will. And I think he deserves it. And in his own ways, he's done the hard mile, which is a wee bit of trouble in the past. But I know that after speaking to Matt, obviously the other week. As well, and he's got himself sorted out, and good on him,
Yeah.
And best of luck to him in the future.
Tremendous album. Okay, guys, so we'll get into this album in a minute. Tonight's album chosen by Ellie, which is Moby's Place. But interact tonight by posting a comment. Do you agree with the scores that we're going to give each song? What's your favourite Moby track? And Zang, if you're a fan of Zang, what's your favourite Zang track as well? My favourite Zang track's that one that I can't remember the name, but it'll come to me.
I don't know the name of any Zang tracks apart from the one that's out. But
what's it called?
Strange.
Oh!
Try to get you there. Just try to get you. So try to.
No.
On the ball.
On
the ball.
Oh, and I'm on the beer, so more on the ball. So.
Great album this week. We're getting smashed tonight watching live music and the podcast on the cocktails now. So great stuff. Okay then, so let's bring Andy and Ellie together and tell me and Adrian about Moby and his journey up to play.
Oh, so this will be Mr. Richard Melvin Hall you're talking about, isn't it?
I don't know. You tell me. Is that his name?
So, yeah, Moby, formerly known as Richard Melvin Hall. Big, started playing piano and guitar when I think he was 9. when he started playing, heavily influenced in jazz and all things blues and everything. You know, it really kind of right into his musical focused. And then he took a mad turn and had this love for all things techno and electronic. Massive, obviously active animal rights activist. I know that he's just got a new tattoo, I think, hasn't he? Vegan forever.
Yeah.
Across his neck.
So
He's
he's
got
got
loads of tattoos now.
Animal and then rights on his arms and everything.
that's mental.
But I mean, he sold 20 million albums, you know, worldwide. Massive. Very strange dude, especially with this album. So this album wasn't commercially successful. So even though, you know, it's got some big hits on it, basically because it wasn't commercially successful, he sold all the rights to this album to music for TV, films and advertising. So this is why you hear a lot of these songs on the films and on advertising and all that kind of stuff, because he sold all the rights because he thought it would make more money that way. But, you know, it was his 5th studio album. You know, like, I think it was his biggest album in Britain as such, you know, and it's just mental. And, you know, the lack of he was getting lack of airplay, he was getting no exposure for a record label, and he was just so he sold basically the exposure of the album to and the licensing to TV, films and shows and commercials, and did really well out of it. But I'm going to pass you to Eleanor because she'll
Okay. My favorite fact about Moby is the fact that his great grandfather like wrote Moby Dick, which is why his stage name is Moby. And I'm like, that's the coolest thing. Like, imagine your great grandfather writing, I don't know, one of the most classic literature. And the fact that like, yeah, when he like after like the album before he released Play, he released Animal Rights, but that got panned by critics. But then like people like Axl Rose loved it. So I don't know like who I'd rather have, like some critics or like Axl Rose pure loving my album. So
Bono, I think, was also another big massive fan of that. But I think Bono I think he says you get 4 bits of fan mail, and one was for Bono, one was for Axl Rose, and one was for somebody else. I can't remember who it was now. That he says, you know, who gives a shit, basically. You know, when you're getting fan mail for Bono, Axl Rose, and everything tell you that album's brilliant, then, you know, you've done well.
Who do you believe it?
And it's like the polar opposite from what this album is. Like, he went from doing like the punk kind of, I don't know, electronica aesthetic to this kind of album. It's like, I don't know how that even came out.
He was a big, you know, he was always heavily into his guitar, and he played with punk bands like Ultra Vivid Scene, which was also the guitarist for The Clash was in. So, you know, he played with these punk bands, and he was heavily influenced by the punk scene early on. And if you listen to early recordings, you can hear all that kind of punk, kind of hard rock, you know, aesthetics behind that, you know. And it amazes me that he's went full circle and went total electronic music. Do you know what I mean? Especially for somebody. But in saying that, when you hear his music, you can hear where his love for blues and jazz and contemporary music and all that comes in, because there's loads of wee samples within that. But then you've got the likes of Body Rock, which even though it's not his guitar riff, he plays a guitar on it, you know, and you can see he can play. The boy can play, you know, and there's bits and tunes that he plays guitar on that are brilliant. You know, he is a good musician.
Also, a really fun fact that Funky told me is Moby played in Air in 1992, and I was like, what a claim to fame that is.
Oh wait, did he actually?
Yeah, he played a DJ at the Kitsch. I don't know how to say it.
Aye, was it the Pavilion though? Was it not?
Aye, that was back in the.
It's at the Pavilion.
Scott, if Scott jumps on, he's of an age. He'll remember it. The Kitsch, Scott, was a Pavilion.
Oh, Scott's mic's muted.
Unmute yourself.
Oh, you just. That was Andy's fault there.
Unmute yourself.
Sake. You hear me now?
Aye,
I've got you.
It was the Piv.
It was a night at the Piv one at the Kitch, wasn't it?
Aye.
Or something like that.
No, I think no, he played at the Piv. I don't know what the catch is. I don't know what that
I
is.
don't- I've got a poster. I'm somewhere on my phone, but it's like I don't know how to say it. So
Kitchen, is it? It must be a night there because
That's amazing. That's
I
a
thought that was
tremendous
right.
fact.
yeah, and he's like Funky sent me the link to like one of them playing like the old sets, and you get to hear Moby's set. So it's quite cool.
well, old
That
movie
is quite
stuff's
cool.
brilliant. Every time you touch me.
I'm going to text. I should text him. I'm text him.
No, you're doing a podcast, Andy. You'll not be texting anybody.
No, so you can send the link over to me.
His old stuff was great, like his old dance tunes, heavy techno stuff. So, it's his 5th studio album, and released, just going through that, released in 1999. He began recording it in 1997 following the release of his 1996 album Animal Rights, which deviated from Moby's electronica style. His goal for play was to return to this style of music. Originally intended to be his final record, the recording of the album took place at his home studio in Manhattan in New York. Must have been doing alright for himself, he's got a place in Manhattan in New York. While some of Moby's earlier work garnered critical and commercial success within the electronic and dance music scene, Play was both a critical success and a commercial phenomenon. Initially, it was issued to lackluster sales, but then it topped numerous album charts months after its release and was certified platinum in over 20 countries. And in 2003 and 2012, the album was ranked 341 on the Rolling Stones magazine of the 500 greatest albums of all time. So it's made it onto that, which is amazing. And Moby had planned to make the album his last before ending his career. So this was his plan, to make this his last ever album as well. So great stuff. Sean McPhail's watching tonight, the lead guitarist of Zang. Some guitarist, Sean, isn't he? Does all that
yeah.
kind of, does all that kind of thing that add the Danish to that kind of. There's Ian McKee's watching tonight. Ian's not been on for a while ever since he.
Oh.
No, he took a flake at Michael Jackson and then never returned, but he's back tonight. Andy's like the Sky pundit that actually does his homework before the match. Respect, yes. Andy's put a lot of work in this week. Very, very good. So well done, Ian. Thanks for noticing that. And music pundit extraordinaire. Oh. 2 seconds, I just seen a message there and it wasn't for me. Okay then, so let's go into this album, let's go into each song. Have you just having private chats in the background between yourselves?
I think they are, aye. Like,
No, I was just sending out a message.
I keep getting wee bleeps every 2 seconds, like bleep, bleep, bleep. Andy's went a bit red. Aye, but why is that, Andy?
right. Well, if I could turn my camera around and show you. So I sit on my desk covered in LEDs.
I think
What do we
she's
like?
saying because they were complimenting you.
Nah, don't go red for compliments. Just rolls off my back. It's like-
So why are you going red then?
because my lights go red at some points
All
around
right.
my desk. I've got a strobe. Hold on, if I change it here, hold on.
Would you like some skincare to help those blemishes?
There we go.
You want some red? There you go. There's some red. Look, you want some bit of green? You know, bit of blue.
Yeah, like the Hulk, bit of blue.
Okay.
Like the Hulk there.
Just go white. There you go, mate.
Okay then, right, let's get into this album. So, let me just say, as Andy said, he sold all the rights. A lot of these songs are well known. Like, it's an absolute belter of an album. In fact, I don't think we've had an album that the first 5 or 6 songs on it have been absolute bangers. Like, you know, like Toto, Friday Night, Let's Get Up For This. But here we go. And I've not heard all the clips, so I just hope Andy's done the best bit of the clips. See, sometimes
Hopefully.
Andy puts a clip on and it's like the wee bridge at the middle that's just kind of like instead of the best bit. But anyway, here we go. Song number 1, Moby plays Honey.
Can my honey come back? Sometime I'm on a red back jack. Sometime I get a hump in my back. Sometime I'm going over here. Can my honey come back? Sometime I'm on a red back jack. Sometime I get a hump in my back. Sometime I'm going over here. Sometime can my honey come
Tremaine,
Oh,
here we
it's
go.
It's a belter, isn't it?
Give us your score and a wee bit about why you scored it. Go for it.
Oh, I gave it a 10. I don't think like it's an introduction to like. I don't think you can't do much wrong, can you? It's what Bessie Jones's voice, isn't it? The woman on it, taken from the field recordings, I think.
Are we all playing sweep here? We're taking up all our notes as we
But I noticed like the producer's the guy from the Beastie Boys, because that was on one of these articles, and I was like, right, fact, I'm defo saying that.
Yeah, that's what you do. That's what it's all about. Say that. So you gave it a 10. What else?
Absolutely.
Anything else on it? What do you like most about it? What's the thing that grabs you?
I think it's just the vocals, and then like because it's like the repetitive hook, you're kind of like hit in the face with it, aren't you?
Yeah. So a 10 out of 10 for Ellie. Good start to the album. Adrian?
I kind of followed on. It just tremendous start to the album. I mean, like Moby for me is just like a laden. I mean, all of these songs just layer upon layer. I mean, like you say, the vocal kind of Moby staple. 2 or 3 lines just repeated for the full song. That's that hook that gets you. Something else I noticed he does quite a lot is using like the bass root all the way through that, like that layer. I love that, and he does it in so many different songs. So for me, it was a 9.
A 9 out of 10. Yeah. Andy, yourself?
I went slightly lower because even though I love the song, I still think there's better songs in the album to come. So I gave it an 8. But you're right with saying it was also "Woman to Woman" by Joe Cocker was a piano sample as well.
Nice.
So,
didn't know that.
Aye. So "Woman to Woman" by Joe Cocker is a bit of piano on the side of it as well. So, but it was all he was listening to a lot of folk music and things like that when he done a lot of these songs. And he uses a thing called the Lomax recordings that he uses, and he uses them in most of the songs. Sorry, it's got like that. He uses that in most of the songs. Do you know what I mean? And not and the great thing is, if you look at the credits on each of the songs, he credits himself and the original artist and Alan Lomax on everything. So it's not as if he's shying away from not giving them any credit, but absolutely phenomenal. I gave it an 8. Brilliant start to an album though.
8 out of 10. Yeah, so Craig gave it a 10. Sarah Brown's given it a 10. And Darren Proven, quality tune. Eleanor knows her stuff. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10 to start with. I really do think it's catchy, but it's very repetitive. And it's built around that loop. So the kind of Bessie, whatever her name is, vocal is the loop, and he's built in that. I love the second verse when the strings come in at the back. So when you hear it, the wee strings come in. That's beautiful. It's really cool how he's done that, because he's just done it off time, but it fits in brilliant. But yeah, and just going back to what Andy said, so basically his pal Dimitri Elric had this Alan Lomax box set in his house, and Moby was out at his house just having a few beers and that, watching the football, and he didn't like it. He said, "Here, you have that. I don't want to listen to that." And Moby basically pretty much wrote half of this album around the vocal samples from this box set. So it's really catchy. There was also a cover that Fafu featuring Kellis. They done a remix as well in 2003, and it featured in the movie Holes in 2003. So great tune to start with. So let's see what we gave that score. I've not done my scores tonight, but I think it's a very good one. I have done my scores, but I've not done them. I'm not like you, Andy. I've not been prepared. But Honey is, let's save that and do that. Let's see, 8.63. So 8.63 out of 10 for Honey. So that's a decent start to the album. Let's go to song number 2 now, and song number 2 is called Find My Baby. Okay then, so Find My Baby, song number 2. Eleanor, let's come to you first.
I just think this. I think this is a perfect follow-up. Like it keeps kind of like the energy level of the album going, but like I like the kind of choppy guitar that uses like throughout the song. I just think it's like I give it a 10 again because we're a bit biased about Moby, but it's one of those tunes that like, do you know when like accent like music help like a good song never dies? It's kind of like one of these songs.
Yeah.
Like it'll stand the test of time, innit?
Yeah, it's very catchy. And again, he's done that kind of going round a loop and building on it. It's great. I'm sure Adrian will pick that up. Yeah, Adrian?
4 bars for 4 minutes. That's basically what that song is. From that, 4 bars for 4 minutes. But again, it's a laden masterclass. I say that's about pretty much almost every single song on this album. But I mean, the guitar solo great on it. I like the wee extra backing vocals that he adds in towards the end that was on that clip, just to give it again more. Wasn't quite as good as the first song, Honey, but definitely up there. So I give it an 8.5 out of 10.
An 8.5 out of 10 for Adrian. So that's a 10 for Eleanor, 8.5. Andy boy?
Scott, you want to go next? Because I know you've probably got the same facts as me, so I'm going to let you have a wee shot.
Oh, no, Andy, it's okay. No, that's not my job.
I feel bad though.
Oh no, honestly, don't feel bad.
Scott's done a good bit of work this week on like finding out facts for them.
What should I say? I do a good bit of work every week. No, on you go. It's fine. Honestly, go for it.
Again, perfect follow-on, perfect with Adrian saying it's you know it's 4 bars repeated, but with multiple layers and multiple layers brought in later on as well. So you've got more things happening all the time. It was sampled Jolie's Rock by Blue Boy. Again, another sample, you know, and it's really clever how they do it, you know, with the samples. And I respect them. I mean, like, you've got to remember, look, like Moby described the first 5 songs in this album as absolutely dreadful. He hated them. And, I mean, a lot of these songs never really were meant to make this album. I mean, he was getting told, you know, things were sounded too much like Fatboy Slim. They sounded too much like this, that, the next. And I can see, you can hear all that. But he just does it so well. I think that it's a cracking follow-up. I don't think you could really displace it from Honey. You know, I think they're very similar songs. Again, it's an 8. You know,
an 8 for you, Andy. Craig Anderson, he gave it a 9 out of 10. Yeah, that's what I don't know. It's catchy, but is Honey, but there was more layers in this one, and I liked the laziness of it. And it was another vocal sample from those Alan Lomax box sets. Moby, he basically just come up with a kind of hip hop. So see the hip hop drum beat in it. He come up with that. He'd that drum beat for years, and he used to play it when DJing in New York in the early 80s. And what he would do is he would be DJing in a club, and he had the likes of Big Daddy Kane, Run DMC would come and like rap over that drum loop. So he'd be DJing, they'd come in, rap over it. This was before they were all famous, just to like impress their girlfriends and all that in this wee club. And then so he used that drum loop and just played slide guitar over it. And then this fitted in nicely because with those with those like vocal samples you're getting, like you can slow them down and speed them, you can manipulate them to fit in a song, and that's what he did a lot in this album with the production, and he get help with a few others that's coming up. But as I say, it's not as catchy as the first one, more layers. It's kind of on a par with me, so another 7.5 out of 10 for me for Find My Baby. But I'm saying it's not as catchy, but they're two catchy songs, aren't they?
Two catchy songs,
it's just not as catchy as Honey.
That's why I gave them the same, because I think they're equally as catchy as each other. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely. So 8.5 out of 10. So for that one, so not a bad start. So we've got Honey is 8.63 and Find My Baby is 8.5. But I think we'll all agree it's the first 2 songs are 2 songs we've heard before. Like sometimes when we do an album, like there's a song we've never heard before. So here we go, number 3, Genius track.
In my dreams dreams I'm dying all the time. Then I wake, it's kaleidoscopic mind.
Okay then, Porcelain, song number 3 will come to you first, Ellie.
I just a 10. I think it's atmospheric. Like it's one of those songs that, like, do you know, like you get instant access to like millions of memories, like the first time you heard it. It's like one of those tunes. But I just think I love his lyrics. I love the beautiful piano he kind of puts layers over the top of it. Just great tune. 10.
A 10 for you. Okay then, let's come to Adrian.
Again, another iconic song. You know, the first 3 songs in the album is stuff that you said we've all heard before. Probably what the movie The Beach probably is linked in with this song probably the most from that. But just that change, what gets me, just, you know, kind of halfway through the song, lots of way through the song, just when it changes, just grabs you. In my note, but it's so melodic and dreamy as well. It's just another great song. And the piano, like in a lot of these tracks, are just tremendous. Those little melodies, the little riffs throughout. So
Sorry, Adrian, you're
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10. Your mic's cutting it. I think your mic's cutting it for a wee bit.
I think you had the hamster wheel effect. Broadband.
I know my internet was. I think it's my internet's playing up.
You better watch your neighbours on stealing your internet. See what it's like round there. Andy?
Brilliant. Moby's take on relationship status, you know, and one of the ones that he's performed and himself, and I think you can hear his love for a wee kind of, when he was younger, obviously playing the piano and things like that, because it's lovely, dreamy piano. It's for me, it's Sarah's nailed it right in the head. Chill out tune. I mean, it's one of these ones where if I had, you know, my holiday playlist, that's on it. Do you know what I mean? Lying back, kicking back, just sit, zoning out. You know,
I can just imagine you.
Mate.
What factor?
10, mate.
You're factor 10, aren't you?
Mm-hmm.
Factor fuck all.
Fuck off.
Ready? I'm a 40. I'm a hypochondriac in holiday.
Yeah. It's a 10 all day long for me, this song. Brilliant.
10.
It's up off.
I was talking about your suntan lotion when you're on holiday. And you gave us a song score. You need to keep up with my pattern, man. You're not just getting it. So what's your factor? First of all, what's your factor in holiday? 10?
10.
And your song scores a 10? 10. Right, okay.
I did get that. I wasn't actually being funny.
Right,
10 for both, mate.
So Darren, he's a Stonewall 10 out of 10, and Craig Anderson is a 10 out of 10 as well. We nearly had our first 10 out of 10 song tonight, but Adrian blew it with his 9 out of 10. Because for me,
I never give a 10.
I know, I can see that. It's a 10 out of 10 all day long. And the thing is it's very Massive Attack Portishead, right? It's got that kind of vibe to it. And I love the dark vocal. It is a beautiful song, but see if Massive Attack done that song, folk would, like, all the musos would fucking, like, slaver over this.
So
like,
what you're trying to say is people like me that listen to it, if Massive Attack done it with no, I don't think it would have made a difference.
If Massive Attack, let me finish. If Massive Attack done this, folk would slaver all over it like they slaver over Teardrops. Like, to see Teardrops is like, wow, it's one of the best like neo type tunes in the world, man. It's so great. It's so amazing. Like, it's genius. And then they go, Moby's like, Moby? Nah, no Moby. Moby gives all his stuff to adverts. See this tune is like up there. 10 out of 10. And if they did it, like, it would be like classed as a classic. Because I don't think everybody gets this song. We obviously do, and the folk that watch it.
For me, it's almost like a crossover. If you play this and At the River by Groove Armada, you've got two perfect songs together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Don't
And it's the
get
same.
that, but it sounds good.
Oh, it's brilliant. Brilliant, mate. At the River Be Groove Armada and this together, phenomenal. And it's two
think-
just really dreamy songs together.
And I think the way I think also the beach helped it. This song, didn't it? Did you seen the beach?
Leonardo DiCaprio.
Aye. Yeah, I love the beach. It's a great film. And I think that helped this song as well because it comes in at that album in that movie a good bit as well. The song. So yeah, 10 out of 10 for me, 10 out of 10 for Andy and Ellie, and a 9 for Adrian. So you would never give a 10 to any song?
Probably
Great.
not. Nah, I'll give it a 9.5, but not a 10.
Great Gig in the Sky by Pink Floyd.
No, don't mention that this week, Andy. Come on. Greatest gig in the sky every week.
Oh,
Okay then, so Porcelain 9.75 out of 10. So still a great start to the album. Here we go, here's another belter. Oh God, song number 4. Okay then, Elliot, seeing your music see with Zang, do you help, like, see the new stuff? Do you help write the songs? Do you have an ear for what the way the band should go in? And does Moby, because I think Moby's one of your favourite albums, this album's one of your favourite albums of all time, so do you, like, when you're putting your input in, do you say, there's this Moby song I like, we should maybe try that? Because it's pretty much Sean can do anything, can't he? Like in the guitar lines and the guys are...
Yeah. I mean, I've not used Moby as an example yet as tunes that I'd like to sound like, but I feel like he'd be good inspiration for it, yeah. Don't know if Sean could play... well, he probably could, actually, to be fair, play guitar like Moby, but I've never...
Could do it.
Yeah.
Aye, because Moby's he's a crack musician. See the song "We Are All Made of Stars"? I love that song. It's very commercial and very kind of like cheesy and all that, but I absolutely love that tune from another album. But what about this one? Why Does My Heart Feel So Bad? What did you give this?
10. I don't have much other to say than this is my absolute favourite song of the album.
Oh, is it?
I love
right?
it. Yeah.
So if it could be an 11, you'd give it that.
Yeah. Factor 50. Like me on holiday.
Factor 50. Yeah, I'm up there with you. Factor 50 all the way. So Ellie's giving it a 10 out of 10. One of her favourite songs in the album. Come to you, Adrian.
I gave it a 9, another 9 for me. Again, just another fantastic song. I mean, the intro melody on the piano throughout the film, just great. Again, there's another big lift throughout. Just pretty much every 90 seconds there's something like a little change and another bigger lift in that.
Yeah.
Every 20 to 30 seconds there's a lift throughout the full song.
It's 24 seconds, I think.
That the first lift, is it? But again, I mean, I got goosebumps almost at the bass synth just when that kicks in. Just like, yes, this is just tremendous. But I mean, every single track on that album is fantastic for me so far. So yeah, 9 out of 10 all day.
So you get goosebumps from a 9 out of 10. What does a 10 out of 10 do for you?
Is there such a thing as 10 out of 10? Is there such a thing as 10 out of 10? Is there always room that you could change something? Is there? I don't know.
Are you dating at the moment, Adrian?
Yes.
Here we go.
Okay.
We should get Wallace to ask him the same thing as what he asked me.
Tell her to walk in with a new dress and see what a 9 out of 10 gets you.
Aye.
Aye. You'll not be long in having no goosebumps ever again. 10 out of 10 all the way. Okay, Andy.
It's amazing to think that what a cracking tune, but Moby absolutely hates it. Never meant to be in the album. It was encouraged by Eric Hale to put it in there. Eric, is it Hal? How do you pronounce it, Scott?
Andy, I don't know. You did the research. I don't know.
Eric Hale. Hale. I don't know. It's hyphenated anyway.
Ask Cyan.
You said it earlier on.
Dimitri Elric.
No. Eric Hale was his manager.
Oh, it was Ellie that had said it earlier, I think.
Aye, that was Ellie, sorry. It was his manager. You know, he begged him to put this track on here. Absolutely hates it. Says it's a mediocre, really bad techno track. Generic techno. That's what he's put. You know, that's how Moby describes this track. Don't know how. When he originally wrote it, that's what he said. Years later, he slowed it right down, and this is what it became. And it was encouraged to put on the track. It was all samples from He Rolled the Burdens Away by the Banks Brothers. So, you know, for this track, but absolutely phenomenal. I gave it a 9. I don't think it's as good as Porcelain, but some may argue with me. But that's my honest opinion on it.
Yeah, I'm 9 out of 10 for this. I get what Adrian's saying. It doesn't give me goosebumps, but it's certainly when it comes on, you get the wee hairs standing up, just like. I think it's just the piano bit that comes in, because it's those generic piano chords, like which any dance song is. You know, that kind of, what is it? I play a capo, Andy. I think a Laney type Primal Scream chords.
Aye,
B-A-E or something.
B-A-E, B, sorry, Anchor Lane, B-A-D.
Aye, that kind of
B-A-D-E.
Runabout type thing.
Aye.
So they're always going to be good songs with the piano in them. It's uplifting. I love it when it kicks in as well, and it's got the same cool rhythm that he uses in many of the tunes in this album. There's always a nice rhythm going through this. Apart from one song where he's going back to his techno roots, it was quite good that there's a song in the album that kind of goes back a few years to just chuck one of them in. And again, he used a sample. I think there's a few samples in this, but one of them was for the Shining Light Gospel Choir for the 50s, and he sampled them again. In his 2002-18 album tune In My Heart. So he sampled that twice in 2 different songs. But why does my heart feel so bad? A 9 out of 10, and our score for that is
Massive. It's got to be.
9.25 out of 10. 9.25. I'll just add that.
Good scoring so far.
Yeah, it is. I'll just add that to the thing.
My lights keep on going out. See, after you talking about my lights, now they keep on going out. I've got a wee loose connection somewhere in there.
Your lights at the house or light in your computer?
No, my wee lights around
His head?
My desk and all that.
All right.
Yeah, the lights in my head. They could be lit.
9.25 out of 10. So let's see if there's any other comments in that. Sarah Brown, was that class? The last tune was class. Yeah, the last tune was class. Okay, then let's go into song number 5. This is Southside. This was his biggest hit in the USA. Here we go. Great stuff. Eleanor, what did you give for Southside?
Did I give it a 9? I feel like I gave it a 9.
Yeah, wait there, I'll just check. I think you did. I think you did give it a 9. I'll just confirm that. Southside. No, I've got you down as an 8.
Oh, I gave an 8. Okay. Southside's like, I just read, like, it is the closest thing that you're gonna get to pop on the whole album, innit?
Yeah.
But like, it's not a good tune. Like, you can't. I know, like, the lyrics are quite dark. I think Moby said they're quite, like, they are dark lyrics to put to a pop tune. So, like, you don't really realize what you're listening to, but the juxtaposition is great. It's a great tune.
Yeah, we love all that stuff. We love all dark to happy and happy to dark. You know, the tune being the juxtaposition, if you like. 7 for me, Craig Anderson, compared to the rest of the album. He gave that. Adrian?
I think the intro's good, and with the cowbell and the bass, and that's what really drives all the verses. It's the same sort of melody, same sort of riff that go throughout that. Again, I'm a percussionist drummer, so you've got to love a cowbell in a song from there. It reminded me a bit like, but I think, you know, Bombay Bicycle Club had that sort of feel to it. You know, they've maybe got a lot of the ideas from that track. But again, great guitar solo in it. Tremendous guitar solo in actual fact. So for me, overall, I gave Side an 8 out of 10.
The guitar solo comes in at a good bit as well, doesn't it? It's kind of like, aye, Bombay Bicycle Club. That's right. I was thinking that. What does that sound like? I get that, Adrian. Good shout. Andy.
I just think there's more can be done with this song for some reason. I mean, the original vocal was done by Gwen Stefani on this, but was left out the album version and was only done on the single version. So, you know, I think you bring that in.
Can I interrupt you? Gwen Stefani did do it, but the original version's this one.
That's what I'm saying. It's left off the album.
The original version's the one that we're playing just now. Then he did. So the one that's in the album was the original version, and then he redone it with Gwen Stefani because he couldn't get her vocal right for this album. Right. So then when he put the song out, I think the song was like the 8th single. So that was like a year into the album, and then Gwen Stefani came in.
That's right. Aye, no.
That's what you said.
No, that's sorry. I said it was left out the album. Gwen Stefani was left out in the album track, but it was.
No, you said that I'm only joking.
You're just trying to trip me up here now. The drums are actually all samples in this, Adrian, as well. So it's what's up front that counts by the counts. Was it the drum samples? So it's all samples. Aye. It just doesn't get me, this track. I just think there's so much more that can be done with it. I give it a 6. I mean, I was at a 7. More I listened to it. I went down. Yeah, I thought it was 6.
Right, okay. Wait till I just check that. I put a 6 for you there.
Aye, because I have, like, if you look at my notes, it does say 7 there. I've kind of went it over.
Yeah, I did change it. Okay then, so let's see what the score is for Southside. I'll just put that down there, and then I'll give you my score. I need to get better at this, guys. I'm usually on the ball with that, so I am.
It's a Friday, mate. A Friday.
So Craig 7 for the rest of the album. Southside is probably the weakest sound in that album. Feels weirdly American teen drama. Neil McComb's watching the night, Mo on the Fridays. Yeah, the song was written to be like a kind of post-apocalyptic journey through New York. So it was that's what the kind of vibe was, and there's a kind of 80s thing going on in it. Like I've got this kind of 80s sounding going on in it, which I quite like, especially the start. So you played the chorus there, but I love the start. See the start of the song where he's got that 80s kind of vibe coming in, that kind of talking, singing type idea. I love that.
Excess in it. Just
was that. And
feel.
He wanted to write a song a bit kind of that type of thing. So I think he gets it. It's dead spacey at parts, and then it comes in with that cheesy, that kind of big fancy chorus. So I quite like it. I've never heard the Gwen Stefani version, but it was his most successful song in the US. So out of this album, so we're all loving like Natural Blues and which is coming, and all the songs we've heard just now like Porcelain and Honey. We're loving them, but in America, this was the one, and I'd never heard it before listening to it this week. It also won a 2001 Best Music Video Award. So I've not seen the video either. So we might. No, in fact, we better not play it. We'll get the podcast.
We'll get the chop. We'll get the chop again.
Yeah. So Southside. Let's see what we gave that. So obviously it's not as high as the rest, but 7.5. So 8.63. Found my baby 8.5. Porcelain 9.75. Why Does My Heart Feel So Bad 9.25, and Southside a 7.5. So decent scores. Really decent scores already, yeah. Song number 6 of the album is called Rushing. So let's play this. And Andy, if you can just introduce when we've come out.
So, Eleanor, give me your thoughts on Rushing.
I like it. It's like I would give it. I think I gave it an 8, which now I'm like, is it high? But like I like the floaty piano. I like the simplicity of the vocals and just the hey. I think he's singing hey. Just quite a nice like mellow track to relax to. But like it's good comparison, like good company to Porcelain.
No,
Definitely.
what about you? So it was an 8? You think it was an 8?
I think
You think it was an 8? Oh,
I'm giving it an 8.
I'll need to check this.
I'm chucking an 8 in.
We'll get the adjudicator score.
Because your first 3 were all 10s.
I know.
I
thought I needed to be a
10.
bit more stingy with the 10s. So I was like, right, I'll chuck in some 8s and 9s. I'm sure I've got a 4 somewhere.
Yeah, there is.
That's-
Yeah, so no, definitely. You gave it an 8. No, perfect. Adrian.
I think just the bass tone throughout this full song is just sublime. I mean, obviously, I've got new cans, been listening to it in the headphones full blast, but just hearing that bass note, I was just like, oh my goodness, that's like if I was to write a dance song or dance tunes, which I kind of have been actually the last couple of weeks, I want a bass like that. I need to find whatever modulator or anything he's using to get that tone because it's just brilliant.
I can give you that tone every day, mate. That's fine.
Even at the start, I mean, the start melody starts and then there's like that crackle sample over the top. But even just having a crackle just gives it so much more volume. You know, without that, it would seem almost quite plain. I think just Moby, what Moby does in a lot, he's got that high melody and then just those root bass synth notes in the background. Again, it's a winning combination that he's done in this full album. And again, when that synth kicked in at kind of near the start, I was hooked. I was like, yeah, I love this song. This song's great. But again, there's just maybe something missing out of it. Is it more vocals? Is it something? So for me, I give it an 8.
No, and again, it's one of the kind of dreamy tracks. It's fairly, I don't know. It's just, again, I think it's just missing something. You know, he's done really clever with the vocal behind it. You know, you can shut your eyes and it can kind of go away a bit. You know, but he says he's described this as one of his favourites. You know, on this album, and he says, I remember I was listening to a demo of the album, and Russian was the only song he felt confident about. So, I mean, I don't know. You know, we've loved, as Scott said, we've loved the first 4 tracks. You know, and he's like absolutely slating. You know, he's like, him and his own stuff. He's saying terrible, and he didn't really change it much for the demo version, as far as I know, as well. You know, but I gave it a 6. I don't think there's much between that and Southside.
So you gave that a 6, Andy. I as well gave it a 6. Just let's see what everybody gave it. So Adrian and Ellen both give it an 8. Me and Andy give it a 6, so that gives it a 7 out of 10. For me, it sounds like an interlude type thing, and it's very like there's a couple of songs like this. I remember in my honeymoon, the night before my wedding, we were at the Lochside House Hotel and we were in the spa suite. And you went in and you get your shave done and your facial, and the music in the background was this type idea. You know, it was dead relaxing. So it reminded me of getting a shave. So it did. I do like the nice piano riff in it. And as Andy says, this is one of his favourites in the album. So rushing a 7 out of 10 for this one. We'll move on to the next song of this 18-song album. We're on to song number 7. This is Body Rock, and I, at the start of this, didn't realise this was Moby that did this song, so here we go. Okay, so Body Rock, Eleanor, what did you give this one?
Body Rock, I gave her 7, but I regret giving it 7. I feel like I should have given it an 8, but I like how it's like it is a hip hop song, but it's like he's gone and put some orchestra in a hip hop song, which people don't really do. and then taking samples from rappers like, what is it, Spinny G? I think it's Spinny G, but
Well done. Yeah.
thank you. Looked it up. But it is a great song. Like, you don't. It's one of those songs that you don't realize is Moby. So when you hear it on like things, you're like, who is that? But
Yeah, I was the same. I didn't realise this was Moby, and I think well, I'll go first. There, just this wee point in that. The management wanted this taken off because it sounded like a Fatboy Slim ripoff. But the reason he wanted it kept on because of the sample that Eleanor was talking about with Spoonie G and the Treacherous Three. He had that kind of sample from like the early 80s, and this was a song that fitted in. So he kind of like, well, I know you don't like it. It probably, and I think Moby even admitted it did sound like a rip off to Fatboy Slim. But he needed to get this song on the album because it was the only chance he'd ever had of getting this 80s sample with Spoonie G into a song, and that's how it's on the album. I'll just continue. Like, I gave this a 7.5 out of 10. Great rhythm again. I heard it being like kind of like, it's, you know, the Elvis tune, A Little Less Conversation. It was remixed. Like, I kind of had that in my head there until I read up in Moby thinking it was Fatboy Slim, and then I've got in my head, maybe I thought that was Fatboy Slim that did that song, but no, it was Moby. So anyway, 7.5 out of 10 for me. Adrian?
I mean, like you say, the Fatboy Slim comparison, I think most people, when they hear this song, would probably think, yeah, that's what. But for me, it's another good song on the album. I mean, that intro, just boom, you're straight into it. Throughout the full song, there is only about 10 words that are said in it from that. So it's quite surprising for me because obviously normally I get quite bored listening to songs, but I mean, all these songs seem to be grabbing me quite a lot. I think just all the different layers within them is just what I find, you know, so fast. The fact that like the vocals almost brainwash you, you know, by the end of it, you're sort of, well, for me, it's like a toe tapper, head bopper. You just, you know, it's a kind of happy song almost. It just gets you moving. But I mean, there's a piano solo that seems to come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Then you've got the guitars with the flange effects, the wah effects going right the way through it. You just think this is, you know, hip hop with those guitars, piano. You know, the synths, there's strings, there's all sorts happening in the song. So for me, it's a 9 out of 10.
Excellent, and I think Neil's right when he says it's not about what he samples, it's how he samples it. So it's like the likes of Honey and all that. It's like he's taking, it's only loops he's taking. So he's just looping these samples round about, but it's how he builds the song, how he and by the way, it's not just computer fanciness. Like, a lot of the stuff's done live. A lot of the stuff's done in pads. You know, it's quite cool. Andy, yourself in this one?
I love it, and you know, Scott, I think you've went through everything. I don't know if you said about the guitar riffs directly from What We All Want to Do by Gang of Four. So
No, I didn't get that
was
no.
aye. So What We All Want by the Gang of Four was the guitar riff on it, and that's what it was inspired from. So it was all taken from early hip hop tapes that he'd mixtapes he'd acquired from about 1981. I think it was a magic show of WBLS. That this was all inspired for it. Brilliant. I love it. I mean, it's his take on essentially a hip hop song. I mean, the Scott mentioned Spoonie G and the Treacherous Three.
It was
I
Eleanor
think.
at that time.
Oh, was it? Yeah.
thank you. Got my facts. Got my facts on.
Sorry. But this, I think 38 in the UK single charts. It got to or something like that, and it's got something about it. It's got a wee bit of swagger about it. It's his take on a hip hop track. I give it an 8. I like it. Decent track.
Yeah. Body Rot an 8. Was it in an advert or something? It's just, I don't know why it kind of, I heard it and it came to me and I'm like, is that Moby? I don't know why, but
there is, I mean, because he sold the rights and all these songs to mostly adverts and films, I'll be in something.
Yeah, so as I say, song number 6, Russian, we gave it a 7, and Body Rock a 7.8. So
Great
not a bad
scoring.
start. Not a bad start to the album. So 8.63 for Honey, Found My Baby 8.5, Porcelain 9.75, Heart Feels So Bad 9.25, Southside 7.5, 7 for Rushing and 7.8 for Body Rock. I think Southside's the biggest surprise now. That we've all found that, and it was one of his biggest hits in America. So anyway,
I'm surprised Eleanor didn't give Body Rock a 10. If I'm honest, I thought that was.
I'm surprised at myself too. I don't know why I've given that, but you know, I'm committing.
I'm committed. Is it? Aye.
When I seen your scores come through, you gave another song a 10, and I'm like, that. I wonder what that is, and then I heard it, and I'm like, that banger, excellent.
See
when it's down the list a bit that I didn't even know he did either.
Not just Body, but I mean, again, this was another track that was never meant to make the album. You know, because they were basically said it's a Fatboy Slim ripoff. You know,
Yeah.
This is
part of me is like, though, what's so bad about ripping off? Like, is it ripping it off or like kind of playing tribute to him? Because like Fatboy Slim's great as well. So
yeah,
amazing.
And that was the thing, and that was your kind of even Chemical. But I mean, back in the late 90s, it was Chemical Brothers, Fatboy Slim, and Moby coming out with these tunes, and then you'd all the kind of other one-hit wonders kind of going round about it, like that JXL and things like that. So yeah, it's a 7.5 for Body Rock. Going on to song number 9, which is
number 8.
Number 8. Sorry, I've never heard this either. But here we go. Song number 8. Sorry, I just ate a crisp there. Ellie, we'll come to you. Natural Blues.
Scott's got the nibbles and beer and everything. He's got the full shebang, right? Website's a Friday night.
This song is another for me is another iconic song. Like Vera Hall's vocals are really haunting. Like if you listen to her vocals just by itself is incredible, and the fact that he's then taken these field recordings, put it to that beat, made it like gospel-y electronica. I just think it's absolutely incredible. Like I love gospel music. I love singers like that, and her voice is just beautiful to me. So I love it. 10.
Adrian, yourself?
Again, it's just banger after banger on this album. I listened to it again this morning. I think I texted you in the group chat. I thought this is just when I was listening to it this morning, I was just like, oh my God, I forgot. Even when I first listened to it this week, it was just tremendous. From that, again, there's a use of more percussion. You've got tambourines, you've got bongos going on there. There's minimal lyric, once again, from those samples, from the vocals, but it just works. All the layers that's put through to it. The only thing that sort of put me off a little bit this song is it reminds me of one of the characters from Family Guy, the wee old pervert neighbour. So for me, that just, like, when I hear that now, I just have a laugh
How's
to
that?
myself.
Is that song in it? Like, do they use that?
No,
song?
it just sounds like, to me, it just
the
sounds
guy
like
talking?
a wee bit.
Right.
Hey there, Mr. Paperboy. Just so for me, I just have a wee chuckle and can imagine that guy singing it in Family Guy, but still an absolute tune. So 9 out of 10.
Excellent. Neil agrees. He's saying awesome tune. 9 out of 10. Andy.
Won a 2000 MTV European Music Award for Best Video with Miss Christina Ricci in the video.
Yeah, I remember that.
Oh,
Christina Ricci.
So I was just going to say that. I did. There's something about her. She's got something about her. Absolutely gorgeous chick. So she was.
Chick. Stop being
she was.
blooming chauvinist. I'm
Sorry.
talking about. You can't say chick these days.
Oh, right, okay. I think we've said most about it. The thing was, again, this was another one that he said couldn't find a place on the album. I wasn't going to make the album because he couldn't get a decent enough mix of it. And it's amazing because, like, you listen to these and they sound brilliant. They sound magic. I mean, and I think he's
Sound
very
magic. Sound
magic.
JK.
Baz. Best you do the tune. But like, brilliant. I give it a 10.
10
Magic.
out of 10.
Great tune.
Yeah, as Andy was saying it, I couldn't get the mix right, so it was One Giant Leap that mixed it. A guy from London, or UK, mixed this version. And that's, so he couldn't get the mix right, and then he sent it to this guy, and then he helped and did a wee mix of it. But see, for me, like, I'm not going to get into this song and the technicalities of it. It's just, it was a huge tune in the UK, and I've always loved it, and I've always loved the sample. But as you've said before, Elliot, this takes me back to a time. And I'd also go as far as saying that if you were to do a documentary in the 90s, like a lot of people put like maybe Common People or something as a 90s tune, a Blur tune. I think this would be great to do. Like, you play this, it does take you back to a time. Like, it takes me back to, I remember playing it as a DJ, just couldn't wait to play it. See, when you're DJing, there's a tune you've got in the back of your back pocket, just like you're excited to play it because you just know that it'll, like, everybody will be up for it and it'll just make everybody happy. This was it. Back in the Butlers in Prestwick, it's Elliot's now. Sunday night. Oh, it was amazing. Like, everybody used to go there on a Sunday night. They were just, everybody was happy and had a great night. It was before mobile phones and all that, and everybody went there, had a great night, left at 11 o'clock, got up for work the next day. And that song just reminds me of that great time. And it's a 10 out of 10 for me, just for the memories and for how cool a song it is as well. So Natural Blues is 9.5 out of 10. We gave that. It's a 9.5 out of 10 for Natural Blues. Let's go into song number 9. I said earlier about like his techno roots. Well, he's think he's kind of trying it a wee bit with this song. This is Machete.
Come with me into the world garden of tonight. Feel the darkness come, my moon will touch you with its light.
Okay then, Eleanor, Machete for you.
You know what? I like it because it's just like, it's the only really like hardcore kind of techno tune on the album, and loads of people say it kind of like rips off like the underworld techno, but it does give me like the Prodigy kind of left field vibes. I love it. I think I gave it a 9.
A 9 out of 10, yeah.
How do we just turn up and note something that? Aye. That's me. I'm done.
Sorry.
The Prodigy.
The Prodigy,
me
left
too.
field, techno. That's me. I'm done. I'm spent. That's me.
I've got
What'd you score it, Andy, then? That's
Oh, what did I score it to? No, I'm only good. That's all right. I know that. I think.
Adrian, go for you in this one.
Again, it's just the first 90 seconds of that is just a complete trance techno acid trip in it. You just think you could be absolutely mad with it somewhere, just going mental. But I love it. I think it's great. To be honest, does that change again, sort of 90 seconds into the track? You know, you've got that just basically where you played that clip, that drum roll, and then it sort of changes into more of a sort of dance, trance, drum and bass type feel. But again, yeah, just like that underworld Prodigy type, everything that Eleanor's kind of said already. So for me, it was an 8 out of 10.
An 8 for you. Andy?
I've got exactly the same left field Prodigy. You know, that was the kind of the vibe I was getting from it. I think he says that the song was directly influenced by, he was listening to too much Front 242, it was called at the time, and he was trying to reproduce a kind of late 80s EBM type vibe, you know, through it. But he says it was the only techno song on the album. It was great fun to play live. He loved it. It was all right. I mean, I don't mind it, you know, because I love the Prodigy. I love that kind of that vibe. I give it a 7. I mean, I don't think it's as strong as the other tracks, but I still like it. I still think it's a good dance track.
A 7 for you, Andy. Yeah. I loved it. Absolutely loved it. Never heard it before in my life. It reminded me of Swedish House Mafia, Greyhound.
I love that tune.
Oh,
Actually,
man.
aye. I can get
the
that.
start to it, and then and I was listening to it going, I cannot wait to get back out DJing and just like mix them two tunes together. I just think they'll work. You know, sometimes you can just play them with each other, just intermingle them between each other. I loved it. I loved it, but obviously not as much as some of the other songs. But when I love a song and an album I've not heard before, I've usually got scores unless it really gets me. But an 8 out of 10 for me for that one. So 8 out of 10, and Natural Blues 9.5, and Machete an 8 out of 10. So good score from us guys at the Pelikan podcast. We've got a wee comment there. Jim Reed's watching tonight. Jim from the Renains, who'll be on. When's Jim on?
Can't remember. Is he on soon?
Find out. He's on soon, I think. Yeah. It's not next week, is it? No, it's not. Aye, so Jim's on. Jim only ever liked one Moby track, the one from the film The Beach. That was Porcelain, which we scored very highly earlier. Apart from that, I was never into him. Fair play to him, though. He made tracks that interacted with a mass group of people, and that's what it's all about. Yeah, definitely.
What's that?
Just going with your favourite Moby tracks? Is your favourite Moby track ever on this album?
What, me?
Or anything? Like, is like your favourite Moby
As
track?
for me, Porcelain is for me. Aye. I would say aye.
Yeah. Mine's as wide as my heart feels so bad.
Yeah. Adrian?
Oh, I don't even know. Probably on this album. But I think they're just... I don't know. I can't differentiate between them. What ones would be my favourite, but I definitely on this album.
He also did a James Bond theme tune. That's great, though.
Oh, did he? Aye.
Yeah.
Aye.
What one?
I thought it's just called the James Bond intro theme.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's really, I recommend listening to it.
I think I've heard that, actually, now you say that. Mine's is, obviously, Natural Blues is a tune, in it, which I gave a 10, and Porcelain, which are great songs. But my favourite Moby tune is Every Time You Touch Me, his dance tune from years ago. Absolutely amazing. I mean, that song, when you play that's a happy song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't dance often, but see when that comes on, I'm like, right, hold my coffee. I'm up.
Remember that, Andy? When we're back on tour, put that song on. Scott will be.
Look. Scott lies because I've seen Scott dancing, right? And he was dancing behind the DJ booth. So he was dancing behind the decks. That's what he was doing. He was hiding from everybody else and dancing himself. But I think we were absolutely. I think we were smashed at the time as well. Don't get me wrong, but.
Every time you touch me is a tune. That's like I think George Bowie and all that play all that kind of stuff. You know, it's like in your George GBX sessions. Oh, it's amazing. Love it because they're all kind of having a comeback on these kind of old school Scottish techno tunes, and this was massive. You know, this was massive. Neil's saying Born Identity, another classic. Craig Anderson's saying that I'm doing dad dancing. Craig, it's worse than that, mate. Worse than that. So Jim, Eleanor, Jim Reed from the Renains is very happy because you've told him something he doesn't know. So
yeah. He definitely did a remix of it. So check it out on Spotify.
Yeah, we're going to we'll check that out. So the next song on the album, we're not playing. We've got it down as 7. We all mapped it, but it's a 1 minute.
Rabble.
It is. So we're not. Everybody marked it, but I'm not put. It's basically a 1 minute and like interlude, and I think he says it's just a kind of bit to split the album a bit as well. And from song 15 in this, Moby did say that from song 15 in this album, this was like he thought it was going to be his last album of all time. And the songs I've got that I really want to put out there. They're my favourite albums. Nobody's going to like them, but I'm putting them in this anyway. So good luck, that's coming soon. So we'll go straight on to number 11, and this is called Run On. This is one of these songs that, again, I'm like, that's right, Moby done this. Belter, here we go.
Run on, ducking and dodging, run on you for a long time. Let me tell you, God Almighty gonna cut you down. You might throw your rock, hide your hand. Yeah. Work in the dark with your fellow man. Yeah. Show us God made you rich and poor. You gonna reap just what you sow. You might run on for a long time.
Oh, I like that, man. Oh, shit,
I love it.
You'll probably bring it up, Andy, but I have heard another version. But anyway, you'll probably bring it up. Eleanor,
Many verses you heard?
Just one I've heard. Just one.
I think I know what it is.
Eleanor, go for you in this one.
I see this song, right? I give it a 10 because I love the Andrews Sisters, and I don't know if like you guys listen to like the kind of wartime music, but the Andrews Sisters like are incredible at doing harmonies, and that just gives me these vibes in this song because I like the vocals are great, and it's kind of like does remind me weirdly of a train, a war train.
A war train.
Totally just those
Yeah, just
notes,
a train. I think it's because it sounds like it keeps ticking on, and like the harmonies in it. I thought, yeah, great, 10.
Yeah. Who was the sample for this, Andy?
So it was God's Gonna Cut You Down.
Yeah, that's a tune. So I
tune.
take it they took the sample from the original.
The sample was
it
was God's Gonna Cut You Down by Bill Lanford and the Lanfries.
Right, aye.
So that. It was an old folk song.
Yeah, because I know I've heard Johnny Cash version.
Johnny Cash. I was going to say, but Elvis also done a version.
Oh, did he? Right, yeah.
So Elvis also done it, and basically Moby turned around and said, if you're a gospel or country singer, everybody sang this song at one point.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it was also used in the Renault Kangoo advert.
All right, yeah.
There you go.
What's the Renault Kangoo? Is that the wee sporty looking number? Isn't it? Used to
I think it's a Jeep.
Ones.
I think it was the one before the capture, was it not?
I think it's a wee Jeep.
Oh, here's Andy getting into his car makes now. Oh no.
Yeah, this is going right over my head.
It's going right over mine. I was just trying to think of Renault Kangoo.
It was yellow.
I was using the Renault ad. How's that? Is that better?
What did you give this, Andy?
I gave it an 8. Brilliant. I mean, it's tremendous. Again, tremendous use of, tremendous use of samples. And there's layers upon layers upon layers in this. And he says he didn't use computer. The thing that gets me is he didn't use computers to do this. He used standalone samplers. So, as Scott was saying earlier on about how hard it is to try and sometimes get a sample and how to, how they mix it that. To do this in standalone samples is just unbelievable. But I give it an 8. Brilliant track. For me, Porcelain's still a better tune. But magic, brilliant, love it.
Yeah, 7.5 for me. I gave it. Adrian?
I gave it a 9. I just think it's tremendous. I mean, again, the use of the bass root notes. I think that's maybe why Eleanor feels like it's like a train that goes all the way through. Just gives it that drive. I mean, there's different drum rhythms that come in just at the right moment. I mean, for me, I've heard that song. It's like, how do you even go about that song? How do you even get to that? That's just for me. That's like genius level, just about.
So you're saying, sorry, Adrian, you're saying it now, right? So you're sitting in, you've got you're doing your music and that now, but you're playing with your wee computer and all that while I'm out working, heating.
Is that when he sends you Snapchat, Scott?
A keyboard in the background, so it's on the floor here. That's why.
I'm under a boiler, soaking wet, and he's sending pictures of him playing on his wee keyboard. But anyway, that's what you should do. You should go to YouTube and try and find like remember we did Bring Me the Horizon album, and they found a Bulgarian choir sample. And managed to put that in a song, and it sounds epic. It was amazing. You should try that. Just because you'll be good at all that stuff. You'll
never get back because you're sitting just with your headphones, just hitting away, and before you know it, it's the next day, innit?
It's like champ manager for musicians. It's like football manager for musicians. These things, like garage band. It's like
honestly, when we go back into the studio, I want to see that keyboard beside that drum kit. Right. You hitting a key and starting some mad sample up. By the way,
would you see Zhang is like showing the boss, and is it him like no, we're not doing that, are we? Is it total?
I can't.
I'm gonna say no, but yes.
So what about the other guys? So Donald works in air guitar, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He must be very musical. Can he play a lot of things? Like what's the dynamics of the band? So like who's so you're just new as well. So Like they've obviously got some songs that they've had, but you've
Yeah,
come
we
in now, so
just
what's the
kind of
dynamics?
we kind of took it from the beginning. So like the way like the songwriting works in our group is like they come up with the melody and then like the song structure, and then I just like listen to it and then come up with the lyrics, and then we kind of take the song from there. So I never
Nice.
take them a melody. I just kind of always form the lyrics. But like I know for a fact that like when Bunny was in the band, it was a lot more like instrumental, a lot more like wordy, whereas they had to kind of really tone it back for me to be able to sing. When like if Sean wants a solo, like he's not going to get a solo because I need to sing on top of it.
Yeah. Well, sure.
I mean,
solo. See, the thing is, with me, I love giving guitarists a solo. Like I do, like every song I've written. There's like 16 bars in there just for do what you want. You know, Glenn used to love that, didn't he? Glenn come up with some great guitar solo. Glenn.
I hope he's watching. We'll need
to play that bit back, eh?
Who miss Glenn?
We've got a new guitarist who's just as amazing, but I'm going to try and get Glenn back in, I know, so I don't need to play guitar.
So we've got two amazing guitarists.
Yeah. Aye, sir. So that's interesting with Zhang. And how do you meet up? Like, he's in the studio? Is it Sound Magic? He's in once a week, or and he's got a wee WhatsApp group. Right, I've got this song. Let's do this and all that.
Yeah, so like it's actually quite hard because like before the lockdown, we had like loads of new tunes written. We'd like got to recording quite a few of them, but then lockdown happened again. So we're just kind of like they've all been placed on a back burner. But we try practice like once a week, and then I think in the future we want to practice like a couple of times a week. But it's kind of like they've all been best pals before, so it's kind of like just hanging out, just writing tunes and having a good time.
Yeah, and so when this all ends, which hopefully will be kind of middle of the summer, have you got a song ready to go? Are you ready to just like?
Yeah, we've been working on like we've got like 3 songs, and like it's just kind of like I say 3 songs, we've got 3 new songs, and then recording like our kind of like catalog just so we can have something to release when we get out. But I'm more excited for our new tunes because they're very like. There's one song that sounds like really Muse / Kasabian, like when everyone loved Kasabian. It's kind of like that sort of vibe.
Don't say that, Adrian will want in your band. He loves Muse.
I'm a big Muse fan,
I'm sorry, we've got a drummer, thank you.
I perked up there as well when you said Muse because I'm a big fan of Muse as well. You know, I love Muse. But I mean, like you coming into the band, what you were saying earlier, went from more spoken stuff to actually, and I don't mean this in a bad way. I thought Zhang when Bunny was in the band, he's a great front man and he's great at what he does. But I just thought it was too much. Here we are, showmanship type stuff. Do you know what I mean? Whereas now it's a band. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, now it's a band.
It
sounds.
That's right.
Mate.
On the train from Glasgow.
Did you see that time in Bunny's new band and he did that gig with us?
That's right, aye.
MacArthur's. And
now called The Buff.
I know called The Buff.
The Buff. Kevin will be on you if he's watching it, right? He'll be right on you, mate.
But he does like his performance like a show, and like he does it's like kind of a musical type thing. See that bit where he was like pretending he was not pretending he was a radio DJ or something and doing wee things like in kind of thing. Whereas, and I remember having Zhang at the Buff in Prestwick, and it was, and I had a gig. I put a gig on at the back of the Buff. You've been in the Buff in Prestwick, Eleanor, haven't you? Like the big beer garden. So we got a stage right down the back, and I get Fleetwood Mac's was the headline act. So that was to get everybody in. It was a Fleetwood Mac tribute act, a Sunday afternoon. It was great. We played it as well because it's my boss. I want a game, so if I'm playing, and I'm making sure we're high up the bill. Escapade played, and a great day. A few acts in between, and then Zhang played. I wanted Zhang to play, but he's already they already had a gig, so they had to play early. Right? So it was like 2:30 in the afternoon down the back of the Buff, and it was like total. It was like tremendous music, right? It was really good musically, and Bunny's a loud singer, and we get complaints, man. We got complaints like because it was too loud at that time, and I'm like, I should put them, but I couldn't put them on later. But you could tell the band was tight as anything. So for you, it must be so good for you to come in. You who are a really good singer, so there you've got the good singer, and then you're getting into a really tight band. Like your drummer's cool.
Alan's phenomenal drummer.
Right,
I think Tony knows Alan for previous.
Tallest drummer in Ayrshire, probably, yeah.
Oh, I saw. But that's how he looks good to watch because he's
very
like, kind of like fucking up there.
By the way, the guy you haven't spoke about yet is Donald. What a bass player that boy is, by the way. Like phenomenal.
Like, Andy, I've been able to play the bass, but you cannot say anything that will excite me about a bass. Like you try every week.
Scott, honestly,
you should, hard.
You should hear the way that. Like, I mean, you should hear the way
instead of going boom, 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 it goes bum, 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 bum.
No. Scott, honestly, mate, phenomenal bass player, phenomenal. Like,
what does bass players do phenomenally?
But he's got the way he uses a mix between slap and everything, and the way he uses his pedals, just the way his tones he gets. I think he uses a G&L. I know this is all irrelevant, but he uses a G&L, and he's just got that thing absolutely,
Is that no hair straighteners?
G and L.
GHDs.
They're GHDs, mate.
Well, before Eleanor joined Zang, you did your own kind of solo music anyway.
Yeah.
You were gigging.
I was going down like the country vibe, the country singer-songwriter. I don't know if Air needs any more singer-songwriters. I feel like we need a few more bands on the go.
There's got tons of them, haven't they? There's loads of singer-songwriters in there that are really good with their guitar and picky and
Exactly. So it's going into like a crowded market, isn't it? Like they're all incredible. So it's like, how do you separate yourself from these incredible people?
They are incredible, but oh my god, man, fucking change it up a bit. Like, see, I love guitarists, right, that can do all the picky stuff and everything, and I love it. It's great, but they get all the gigs. They get all the gigs. So you're going to these gigs to watch them, and like you can take 2 songs, but see after that you're like, oh, for fuck's sake, somebody's play a drum beat or something in there. Like I've got it. I've got the struggles you're going through. Like, I get it, right, but you can play the guitar that good. He's a bit of kind of do 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 do, like a wee bit of.
I thought I was going to get Axel Foley. I know. I thought I was going to get Axel Foley.
But see if you're that good at the guitar, do a bit of Frusciante on it and kind of like, you know what I mean? Like kind of funk it up a bit. But he is full of that, Eleanor. And I bet you sometimes you'll get guys playing gigs and Harleys and you're working and you're just like, for fuck's sake, man.
I try not to book them, but
Scott, we booked them as well, mate, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Aye, but they're like, they're great. It's just my opinion. I
think there is the few out there. You're right. There is a few out there that have got that, but I do think I'm not going to name them. I'm not naming them. That is terrible. But there is I know I've had a few beers, right, but I'm not naming them.
There's Audrey saying, when you go, Andy, you've had a few beers, just name them.
Oh, yeah, she's sitting in the background.
Roast them.
But no, there is, you're right what you're saying. There is it, but there is a few that are writing their own stuff and doing a great job yet.
Yeah.
And still doing that acoustic feel, and it goes really well.
You got a name in your head that you're trying not to say?
One does interest me all the time is Carol Bridgman.
Oh, he's
for a one man.
He's that's different.
Correct.
Like
different level, absolutely phenomenal.
No, he's
absolutely
superb. Like because he can do all that, but then he can chuck in a wee bass. Then he puts out his back pocket a tambourine that sticks in his feet, and then he's got something in his elbow.
And then he's got stomp pedal.
Oh, that's amazing.
And then he's
one-man band.
Yes, he's proud.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was great. So let's get into song number 12 in the album. This is called Down Slow. Right, okay. So we try and pick the best part of a song, and this was Down Slow. So, Eleanor, what did you give this?
I think I gave this a 6. Someone said like the first half of the album is like the party, and the second half is like, you know, when your mates drag you to the after party that you don't really want to go to, and it's very mellow, and you're like, oh, you just killed my vibe. It's kind of like one of those songs. No offense. Also reminds me of like, I said this on the chat, but it does remind me of like Mr. Bean's Holiday with William Dafoe. A bit when he's like going up and down the escalators with this like kind of like just escalator music. So I'm not the biggest fan of this song, but
Yeah. Adrian?
I gave it a 6. It was just, it sounded to me like another sort of demo track or an idea that he's had that he's sort of filled out a little bit more. Again, there's something to it. You hear it and you think, there's so many different ways that it could go. You know, could you make that into a techno track? Could you put another make it one of the gospel tracks? Put piano. I mean, there's so many things that you could do with it, but obviously he's just sort of left it. For me, it was a demo track almost. So, 6 out of 10.
Andy, yourself on this one. I was thinking to myself, right, what's Andy going to give in this tune? Like, what's he got in this? Because I couldn't find anything.
It's a 6. I mean, it was an instrumental. And he says he quite liked it, and he says the last 5 songs in this album are his favourite songs. I don't see how. Maybe it's just his preference in music, but I think general consensus would be if you could have the first 5 songs on an album. Sorry, I've just had that big loud banging in the back of my door there. Hold on, I need to go and check my back door. I'm being deadly serious. Right? There's somebody.
I heard that actually.
I heard it as well. You better go and check that. Go and check it. Oh my God, did you hear that there? I hope he's alright. I hope everyone's alright. So, what did you give it, Adrian, a 6?
6.
Ellen, a 6.
Andy gave it a 6, I think, as well.
I gave it a 5. It's another one of Moby's favourites, and it's the one he's proudest of in the whole album. And he also says like the next 5 tunes are just for him. Like they're the songs that he loves, and it's just for him. So yes, I think that's our lowest scoring song in the album. Let's see. So 5.75 out of 10 for Down Slow. Let's see some comments. So Elise, my daughter, has got a hold of my wife's phone, and she is, I am obsessed with you, and she's wrote 1, 2, 3, I love you, and I don't know what that is. It's a wee square. I don't know.
That's amazing.
But hi Elise, Daddy's watching. You should be in your bed. Right, we'll give you the telly tonight so you can watch it. You should rather watch your daddy. Okay then, Andy, what was that?
It's alright, nobody's trying to break in, it's fine.
Well, I don't think I'd fancy breaking into a judo specialist. Husband, that is Audrey a judo specialist as well?
Husband, wife, and daughter as well.
Karate.
She studied karate, aye.
Karate, aye. So I'm not really want to be having phone breaking into that house. What was it?
I think it was actually Amy in the bath, and something fell off the side of the bath or something like that. Aye, something like that. Anyway, but right. So sorry, we've
scored that it was terrible. 5.75 out of 10. If things were perfect, it's the next tune. Andy, have you got a nice fact in this next song?
What one was it? Is it about James by any chance?
Yeah, you say it. Okay, cool. So song 13, if things were perfect, and you jump in, Andy, if bye.
Broken darkness, my cold end. I look for places I've never seen.
Eleanor, I'm going to come to you first. If things were perfect.
I'm just gonna go with a 7 on this one. I don't have much to say other than I do quite like the scratch of the record, but I don't really make many notes on this song. It's kind of like one of those ones that you're just like you listen to, chill, and then on to the next.
I kind of get what you're saying. I get that, but I think you get that about a lot of the tracks at the end of this album. To be honest,
it's very mellow and like relaxing. I feel like he does.
I did love your explanation there before I had to kind of jump out there for a second. Was that it's like taking the total edge off something? Really banging party. The after party's like.
You apologize. You're like, why am we here?
Yeah.
They come down just
this sounds like we need to go home soon.
It's like the first 5, like the first, I say half the album, you really kind of focus on and you're appreciating it. The second half, you do kind of like, because it is so mellow and like it just kind of, you listen, but you forget to think. So I don't know if that's quite a good thing though. Sometimes you're there to relax.
And have you ever written a track yourself that you've thought,
oh mate, I've written 100 shite tracks. For every 100 rubbish ones you write, you do get the one good one. So you know what? It's always the lyrics that I find like you can have some like spot on lyrics, and then you come back a week later and you're like, what was I writing? Like, was I on something? Like, this is absolute. And in the moment, you're like, this is it. I am Einstein. Like. Freddie Mercury, come down and thank me. And then the next week you're like, this is absolute, like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like Conor Maynard's written this album, but I've just...
Connor.
I don't what pull, but...
That's how to explain it. That 3 bottles of wine that I had was really good, and it seemed like a really great idea at the time. It kind of takes me back, but like we were like... who was it? Rick Watter for Shed 7. We were sitting talking to Rick Watter from Shed 7, and he was talking about the Seahorses. And obviously John Squires, when he joined the Seahorses, how they used to write songs, and then John Squires got away and be absolutely out his tree and come away and write this 20-minute guitar solo and think it was a great idea. But then still wake up in the morning straight again and still think it was a great idea. I'm like, nah. Because like the Seahorses songs will go on for about 15 minutes, and 10 minutes of that will be Joy Squires soloing his guitar. Do you know what I mean? So it's some great tunes, though. Don't get me wrong, but it's just how can you think that's a good idea? Adrian, gonna come to you, mate.
Well, if things were perfect, again, kind of similar idea to Eleanor. You think, did Moby write some of these songs as a sort of relaxation tool or on a relaxation CD? I mean, this is one of them, just with those sort of talking deep vocals that, it's almost the vocals are telling a story from there. But again, I think the start's good. I like the bass melody, and there's like he's even recorded there's a sample of him turning paper. You hear it in the background quite close to the start. You hear like sheets of paper turning from there, which again is so random, but it's another layer it seems to fit in. There's even, when I was listening to it, I was trying to work out the time signature, and it is 4/4, but there's like a syncopated snare or like a pattern right at the end of the bars that you think, was that a mistake? Did he quantize it not quite right, and it just somehow fit, and he's just left it? It's one of these things. Probably I'll never know, but I think when I hear that sort of snare hit, I think, oh, that's a bit different. But again, it seems to work from there. But yeah, good song. So I gave it 7.
Aye. I mean, as Scott was saying earlier, there's a bit of fact about this. Before James became successful, they put out a few singles on a record label called Factory Records, and one was called Him from the Village, and the other one was If Things Were Perfect, and it was a B-side. And for some reason, he just liked the song title, and that's where he get the title for the song from. So it was a kind of homage to kind of James at the time that he done. if you say something, but I've never actually. I've met him once, and he was all right, nice fella. That, but I don't get it. I think I gave this one a 6. If I'm going by my notes because I've ripped them up now. Nah, so it's got that faithless type vibe to it as well, though.
I could.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I kind of got that, and you know, me and Scott were talking during the week, and that was the kind of stuff I was listening to at the time. Was Faithless, Groove Armada, Machiba. You know,
Machiba,
it's got
yeah,
that kind of Machiba vibe, Faithless vibe, but it's all
What a
right.
band they were, by the way.
Machiba, aye, amazing, amazing. So, aye, 6 for me.
Yeah, a 6 for me as well in this one. I had in my head a kind of Portishead type vibe.
Oh yeah.
But folk love that. Like folk love that kind of music. It just didn't hit me. And it's got that kind of, when you actually sit back and listen to it, it's got that kind of mid-January piss in a rain feel, waiting for the sun. Do you know that way? It's like he's did it. It's quite clever the way he's managed to get that kind of mindset when it's a song, because I think that's what it's about. It is kind of waiting and better things, you know. So if things were perfect, a 6. So let's see what that gives us. A few kind of lower scores at the end of this album, which but a 6.5 out of 10 for this one. So let's go into song number 14. This is Ever Loving. Now, it'll be interesting to hear everybody's thoughts on this tune and see if we all say the same thing. But we'll go with you first, Ellie.
I think it's pretty, it's beautiful. It's one of those songs. It's like I don't know much about music theory. Like I've sat the exams, but I think it might be arpeggios, but the repetitive nature. But I'm gonna go with 7. It's a nice song.
Pretty song, yeah. Adrian?
I gave it 7.5, so a little bit higher than Ellie. But yeah, like what she was saying, it is like just a nice song. I mean, the music in it is just great. You think as if there was vocals, would have scored it a higher mark? Quite possibly. I mean, he hums like a melody, and you think, right, did he just not finish the song? Did he not get round to finishing it? But thought,
Yeah.
it's such a good song, I'm going to put it on anyway. Again, we know that it was going to be his last album, so he thought, yeah, I want people to hear this. So for me, that's where I was thinking. But it reminded me a little bit of a Biffy song. I was trying to find what the song is. I think it's Space off their newest album. There's a section, it reminds me a little bit like that. But yeah, I think if there was full vocals, I'd have maybe scored a little bit higher, but still great song, so 7.5.
Yeah, see with this as well, I think it's a beautiful instrumental, but see if one of you brought that to the band and goes, I've got this instrumental, I was listening to that, there's so many cracking melodies you could write over that. That could be the Zang v Pelikan Rogue. We just take this song, right? Take this song. In fact, that's the first band battle.
Charity album. Here we go.
Ever Loving, right? We just take the instrumental. Each band takes the instrumental, and we make up our own lyrics and melody to go over it. See who the winner is. Record it, and then put it out there and a vote. Because I think you could come up with there's some nice wee bits in that song, isn't there? There's some lovely wee bits. And as you were saying, Adrian, like you could hear he was kind of humming a melody, and I reckon. So we've each gave that a 7 from just hearing an instrumental, and I reckon with like lyrics on it, like a vocal, that could have been up to 8.
Did you mention the point that it was just it was just a demo cassette and they flung it in.
No, I've not mentioned that.
So basically, this recording is straight off the cassette. Because if you actually listen to it closely, you can still hear the warble from the cassette and the hiss and everything. So it's actually taken from, straight off the cassette. And basically what he says, it's just a crummy demo. It's just a crummy demo, and every time he hears it licensed on an advert, a big movie or anything like that, he laughs. He says it was a crummy demo.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
There's Nick Moore. What did you give it, Andy?
I gave it a 7 as well.
7 as well. So that's 7 for Adrian, 7 for Ellie, 7 for Andy, 7 for me. So that's 7 times 4. So that's a 7. Nick,
I'll give it a 7.5.
Nick, did you give it a 7.5?
I think so.
Oh, did you? Wait there.
You're just doing that to wind them up, aren't you?
Wait there, the new 7 cells.
Oh, genuinely?
7.5 plus 7 plus 7 4 7.13. Okay, that's what it is. Nick wants to get involved in this melody challenge. Yes, let's do it. So the song is Ever Loving by Moby. Right? So we're in soon, aren't we? So when we've got a wee time, we'll get this and try and get a melody. In fact, you don't need the band. You just need to get the track and then just chuck it on GarageBand or something and just sing over the top of it. So we'll find a way to get that over to you, Eleanor. And
I'll get it. I'll do it all, and I'll do it all.
And get it to Nick as well, and we'll have a challenge. Nick Morgan.
Is Nick on your side though?
No, Nick's wanting to do it himself.
Oh, right, okay.
Because he's a solo artist, and we want to get Nick doing it before he becomes really famous with Scotland song, so that we can say he's our pal. You know what I mean?
and then we can abuse the privileges. Is that what it is?
Totally.
Basically, turn them into Moby.
Yes. So Ever Loving 7.13, which is pretty high. So I think deep inside we like that. I think we all really like that, and we would score it higher with vocals on it. So Elise again, hi Elise, she's watching TV about snowflakes, spiders, whatever that is, dragons,
turtles.
And snakes.
Turtles.
Yeah, Adrian was a 7.5, and Nick's laughing. You'll not be laughing when you get sent that demo, so you better get writing.
No, but that when we want free tickets to Hampden, mate.
I'll carry your piano. No, your keyboard. Okay then, let's go on to the next 3, let's just have a wee look at this actually. So the next 3 songs are called Inside, Guitar String and The Sky Is Broken. I'm going to play these one after the other. These 3 songs were kind of the lowest scoring songs in the album from us as a collective, and let's just see why we scored them low. We'll just go around each one of these. But the first one's called Inside, then it's guitar, flute and strings, and then The Sky Is Broken. So here we go.
See the wind coming down like black night. So speak to me like the wind outside. It's broken up, pushing.
Okay then, so Ellie, those 3 songs, Inside, Guitar, Flute and String and The Sky Is Broken. So you gave Inside a 4, guitar, flute and string a 6, and The Sky Is Broken a 5. So let's talk about Inside then. So Inside a 4, go for it.
Do you know what? Like, I actually I prepared for this and I made like wee notes and that. But like on these tracks, I've just written the song name and that's it. Like I didn't even have don't have anything to say about them. It's just
Hold on, can I just add, by the way, they're printed notes. Like they're far better. Like mine's are actually hand scribed, do you know what I mean? In my own handwriting. That is dedication.
That is total
I was just
dedication.
pure para in case someone was like asked me something and I was like, oh. But then like
don't
I've
worry,
written
that's
nothing
how we
about
come.
them, so
I like that. I was pure para in case someone asked me and you've got blank notes. But
yeah, sorry.
That is amazing.
So inside a 4, did you just not get it? Was it just no?
I just think it was kind of like you could have just done without it, couldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It wasn't my favorite. Like, it's
do you want to
there.
know something? Do you want to know something? Like Moby describes it as inside is like having too much ketamine because it's just so numb. I mean, what kind of description is that? So it's terrible. Is that what you're saying? It's just a terrible song. Nah.
Maybe he likes it because it is terrible, but like I would say, yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's songs that are like 1, 2, 3, and 4, but this one.
Well, me and Adrian gave it a 6, but Andy went up to a 6.5. So what?
No, I didn't. I went to a 5 for that one.
Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Inside's a 5. Oh, well,
Aye, because I've scored out the 6.
Oh, you scored out the 6. Sorry, that's my.
I was like, what was I thinking? But I love Moby's quote. Whatever I put it on, I feel like I'm in a keyhole. I mean, like, you know, mate. Obviously, I don't know.
Okay then, so that's a 5.25. Adrian, guitar, flute and string, you gave it a 6. So explain to us your 6.
I mean, it's like the run seal of music titles, isn't it? It's exactly what it says. You know, it's basically just guitar, flute and strings. I don't really have much else to say about it. I think, you know, he obviously wanted people to hear it. You know, it's probably, again, another sort of demo idea, but I mean, I still quite liked it, to be fair. You know, as a guitar, flute and string song demo, it's good. It's fine. So, yeah, I gave it a 6.
Well, 6 is above average, isn't it? Well, we can class a 6 as an average score. If we do anything like a 4 or a 5, we don't really love it that much. So I think we all gave that a 6. That one, Andy, we get any info or Eleanor, any info on guitar, flute and strings that's interesting?
I mean, basically, he's just said that, you know, that it was something that he wanted to. I did read something, and I haven't noted this down, but it was something to do with the first ever electronic flute, like synth that he took, and he was wanting to write a song round about that, and that's what came it, and it's just guitar, flute, and strings, you know, but he says that no one's going to listen to this record.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a track of his own. He only put that on there because it's a track he wanted to do. You know, but he has described it as that's why it's in, you know, position 15, 16. Nobody's going to listen to it.
Okay, then.
Well, we did.
We gave that a 6 out of 10. Song 17, The Sky Is Broken. I gave that a 6. It's a song that was in the X-Files, and it's the most simple tune in the album. It's just got a vocal.
Season 7, episode 17, by the way.
Yeah, you watched it. Did you see that episode?
Right, Mowgli and Scully, yeah.
I really love X-Files, so I'm fangirling when Moby.
I've never seen X-Files. I think there's a couple of, in fact, the last
that was like total disgust. That was honestly, you should have seen Eleanor's face here. It was total disgust, mate. Honestly, that was like.
Is it good? Is it really good?
Oh, it's Gillian Anderson, David Duchovny. It is childhood for me.
Nobody Audrey's watches X-Files.
Audrey watched X-Files, eh?
No chance.
No, he knows who Mulder and Scully is, but he never watched X-Files.
I've never watched one episode. Is it not like Men in Black?
Is it not like Men in Black?
No, classic.
She's got off of one.
Not having it. Yes, the Sky's Broken. that was in the X-Files. Most simple song on the album, and I believe it uses an Oberheim Matrix 1000 synth. Yeah,
Really bad
that's
drum
what
sample
Yeah,
and an Overheim Matrix 1000 synth and vocals.
and you gave it a 5, Ellie.
Yeah, I did.
What was your notes on your 5 for Sky is Broken?
I literally just put very simplistic. You can tell it's meant to be like that, but I think I copied and pasted that wee number for you.
Okay then, so that was a 5.75, which takes us into the last song of the album, and the last song's called My Weakness. It is song. Okay then, Ellie. In fact, we'll come to you first, Adrian. We'll come to you first in this one.
For me, I kind of actually feel like I maybe scored it down a little bit, but I'll stick with it. I gave it a 7.5. My notes say Lion King Tribal. That's the first bit I've got on my notes. But the stringer blown. I mean, the strings throughout this is just wow. From that again, I think it's like Moby's sign off, isn't it? It was meant to be his last album, so this is him saying goodbye. This is his weakness. This is his legacy. But again, back to those strings, just phenomenal. But again, I only scored that 7.5.
Let's see what Ellie get. Yeah, Ellie, go for your score on this one.
I give it an 8.
Yeah.
I think it's beautiful. It's a wee bit disconcerting. The African choir loop that he uses, like, it's great. I think it's kind of like a nice way to end an album.
Mm-hmm.
Just making you feel just a tiny wee bit uneasy, but it is nice.
Yeah, it's
doesn't
really nice.
it? Didn't think
Andy?
of that before. That's good way.
I wasn't enamoured. I mean, it was a great loop. I did like the loop, and I loved the way he did. It's the only track. It doesn't have drums on it as well, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
You were right about it's an old loop of African choir loop, basically, and he said that he sampled it 12 years ago. So I don't know if that's like 12 years ago prior to writing this album. So you could be talking like that loop could be 32-year-old now. Do you know what I mean?
Same age as me.
You know, it's phenomenal to think that. But he says that he like, people love this track for some reason. I didn't get it, and for me it was a 6. You know, I would have liked him to finish on an energetic song, go out on a high, bring it down. Oh, and by the way, did you know Daft Punk have split up?
After 28 years, I've seen that this week.
Shut up.
Just we were talking about dance music there, I was like, I just bugged in my head for some reason.
Yeah,
Daft Punk have split up.
I seen it. They'd split up earlier in the week.
And a cracking video to do it, by the way.
I've not seen that. I'll check that.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
Okay then. So let's see. So Ellie, your album score. Now this is the interesting bit, right? So your album score for this is 7.94 out of 10, right? But see if we only take it up to this 11 songs run on, because basically from down the end of the album with Down Slow, If Things Were Perfect, Ever Loving Inside, they're all the ones that he added because they were songs that he wanted on. So you're 7.94, and then if it wasn't that, your album score would be 9.2.
Oofed.
Okay.
What a difference.
We'll take that.
Adrian, your album score was 7.79, and again, up to Run On, you would have been 8.65.
Aye.
Andy, your score in the album was 7.17 out of 10. It would have been 8 out of 10 up to the last song. My score for the last song was 6.5 out of 10. It was another one for the X-Files. No drums, very pretty. It had the African choir sample in it, as you said. But he did say something about he loved the 19th century classical music, and he kind of put a wee nod to that. and I think he did a really good job of that. Like, see with his piano
Mm-hmm.
and the end of the song, I think he did a really good. It has got that classical edge to it.
But he was when he was younger. I mean, he started playing at the age of 9, guitar and piano, and one of his biggest influences at the time was jazz. You know, jazz and blues was his big passion at the time. And then when he started getting through everything else, then he was a punk guitarist. Do you know what I mean? He was
Yeah.
you know, and I've heard some early Moby stuff, and if you listen to it, the punk elements in it, you know, he was quite a heavy, you know, thing. But and then
Hey,
going to
all-rounder, eh?
this is just going to this was just completely different from again. You know,
I think this really is what it's shown here. Like, my score for the whole album is 7.15 out of 10, and I'm like, why is that? And then you look at the scores up to song 11, and my score for the album was actually an 8 out of 10 as well. So, although it's got loads and loads of hits, I think having an 18 song album is very difficult to make every song tremendous.
but what I think what he's done is he's took the self-righteous stand and said, "No, I want these last songs on the album, even though the first 11 songs are going to be my biggest songs that the public are going to like. These are the songs that I want in the album that I like." Do you know what I mean? And
You
he's
don't
took
know
that
before
stance.
you don't know before you put it out if the public will like it or not, but certainly there's a few songs in there like Inside and The Sky Is Broken, and there's a couple
Seven.
of ones that. And Seven's just a kind of interlude in it.
Thing, but
Right, okay, so what's the Pelikan podcast score? So your album score tonight, Eleanor, is 7.55 out of 10. Let's see where that goes in my chart. So let's go for 32.
Oft.
Heat and Chemistry 32, 31's The Man Who, 30 Erratic Cinematic, Love, Death and Dancing 29, Sparkle in the Rain 28, 27 Duran Duran 7 The Ragged Tiger, 26 The Police Regatta de Blanc, 25 Eventide, so it's in the top 25.
I'll take that.
24 State of Things, 23 Play, 22 Post-Human Survival by Bring Me the Horizon, Lust for Life, Iggy Pop 21, Blackberry Smoke, Whippoorwill 20, Invisible Band by Travis is 19, RTJ 4 from Run the Jewels is 18, 17 Exile on Main Street by Rolling Stones, and 16 Together Alone by Crowded House. Top 15 again, Jagged Little Pill, Turnstiles, Billy Joel, Miseducation of Lauryn Hills at 13, Whatever People Say I'm Not by the Arctic Monkeys is 12, with The Strokes at 11. So our top 10 is no change for last week. 10 is In Excess Kick, 9 the Joshua Tree U2, 8 Michael Jackson Thriller, 7 the Beatles Let It Be, Nirvana 6 with Nevermind. The Bends is 5 from Radiohead, Appetite for Destruction from Guns N' Roses 4, What's the Story, Morning Glory 3 from Oasis, Beatles, Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Heart Club Band's 2, and the Beatles again with Revolver at number 1. Now, if we did this album from those 11 songs, the album score would be 8.46, and that would have put it into the top 10. There you go.
Oft.
it shows you, doesn't it?
The first 11 songs have knocked In Excess out of the top 10 and Moby's Play into the top 10. So there is some crackers in that album, and I think Jackie actually wrote I love this album but don't remember these last songs, and I think it's one of those albums where when you maybe got, like, remember when they come out you had a CD and you would have, you're just skipping to the songs and then it's back to the first one. But anyway, let's play a wee tune from Zang. With Eleanor singing. The song is called, what's the name of the song again?
Strange.
Strange, yeah. But before we play it, Eleanor, Andy's going to ask you a question to think about.
Hello.
So, Zang or, right, so I'll give you the first choice, right? It's Zang or Eleanor Hill. It's up to you. And headlining a gig, you need to pick a venue and 3 acts to support you. They can be dead, alive, anything. All right.
Okay.
So it's entirely up to you. And you've got to the end of this song to pick.
Here we go then. This is Eleanor and her band Zang from Ayr. Follow them on Facebook, Instagram. He's on Twitter.
No.
No. And you'll get that. And then if you search them on Spotify, iMusic, you'll get them as well. Okay, so here we go. This is Strange.
Scott, what you done?
I don't know what happened there. I'm just playing it off the Facebook. Let's see.
Have you broke it?
No.
Do you want me to see if I can bring it up?
Yeah. Sorry, we're having trouble playing this video.
Podcast on
Interesting.
Friday, yeah.
Interesting. See if you can bring it up, Andy.
Oh, hold on. I've got it. I've got the full thing.
Right, okay, go for that then. We'll do
Give
that.
me just 2 seconds. I'll bring it up. By
This is
the
more
way,
time than Eleanor can think, yeah.
I know.
Here's
We're giving you
Zang's
more
official
time here.
Facebook page.
Here's Zang's official Facebook page. Give me just 2 seconds.
Good on. They're sharing some Pelikan podcast stuff as well. There's a wee band pick there as well. Look at that, nice. Oh, I've accidentally.
Oh my
left
God.
you there, Eleanor.
Here we go. I found it.
Right, Andy's going to play
Just 2
it.
seconds.
Here we go.
Aye, but I'll need to share my screen here. Give me just 2 seconds to set it up. Right. So share screen. Remember to share audio, Scott. Right. Okay.
Who I've got? You do.
No, me. Aye, I've just got to remember to share audio.
This is Zang and Strange. Here we go.
Oh.
What happened there, Andy? That's you.
Something off about you, the way you notice everything. Got eyes in the back of your head, but that's not the strangest thing. Life and time to your charm, with your fingers wrapped around my arm. There's something else in the room, something more about you. Don't you think it's strange? You want me to watch you walk this something off about you, acting like there's nothing wrong. Weird vibes and the things you say, like different people on different days. Thinking you was coming from, thinking you could do nothing wrong. Always waiting for what I spy, not the first by the end of the night. Don't you think it's strange? You want me to watch you while there is nothing. Don't you think it's strange? You want me to watch you while there is nothing. Should've seen you coming. Should've known you were coming. Might see you time to time. Might see you time to time. Don't you think it's strange? You want me to watch you while there is nothing. Don't you think it's strange? You want me to watch you while there is nothing.
So
Nah,
Cracking song.
can I just ask something?
I keep on muting Andy by mistake.
Can I ask
Oh,
something? Yeah.
Oh, stop
That's you.
asking, stop muting me. Right. No, so is that like both bands that are on here tonight recorded a video in Sound Magic Studio? Aye.
Really
Yes.
original.
I think,
Love it.
no, and do you want to know something? And full credit to Baz, because what a great setup he's got there,
Yeah.
and we can see why everybody uses it. But I think every Ayrshire band's done one video for their
Or
song
photo shoot.
at the studio.
I think
Yeah.
I was saying this to my pal. I think in Air it is a rite of passage to not only play Harleys, but you have to have some sort of photo shoot at Sound Magic.
Yeah. we did it
But
anyway.
that's what I'm saying. But it's a credit to Baz, because he's done a great job in there. Do you know what I mean? And it is really raw. You know, it's a raw place and it looks cool. Do you know what I mean? So why not use it? You know, take advantage of what we've got and give Baz his kudos for having that there and letting us all use it.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
You know?
When you think if it wasn't there, where would we have to go? We'd have to probably travel up to Glasgow, or I think there's a few studios maybe in North Ayrshire way, but still,
Yeah.
we're lucky enough having that literally on our doorstep.
That's Studio,
Yeah.
Studio 5. That's. I'd like to go up there once, because that seems quite cool.
Was that Colin Angus's?
Colin Angus and Morag, yeah, that's quite a cool studio. That they've got this kind of live setup up there, so that'd be quite cool. Right, okay then. There's your question, Eleanor. So you've got your gig, and it's any venue in the world that you want. You or your band Zang are headlining it, and it's any band that's ever been about ever, or act that's your support.
Right, question. Do they have to be the same genre? Like,
No.
it makes
No.
sense that they're on the
Anything at
lineup.
all. Anything at all.
Okay.
Is it Moby Claimers? Is that what?
I would pick the Proclaimers, but I've actually gone with I don't think the Proclaimers would be opening for us. I'm going big. So I've gone with the Bowery Ballroom in New York City, because I absolutely love New York and I feel like it's everyone's dream to play in New York City in these clubs. They're great. And I've gone with REM, because I bloody love REM. Right, and a really weird choice, I've gone with the Bay City Rollers, because I genuinely love them. And then I've gone with Florence and the Machine, because I love Florence.
There'll be a few.
So you know what? A lineup that people would be queuing for.
Well, there would be, and there'd be so many different types of people going to that. So wee Margaret and Betty for the tap end will be there to watch the City Rollers. You'll have all your kind of 90s kind of post-goth REM fans that are there, and then you're going to have your festival goer with the wellies on, Florence the Machine types as well.
So I've really got all grounds covered with this music.
Yeah.
Gig and a half, in New York.
That's
That's
not a bad gig, mate. I'd go.
Oh, we asked the
I'll
question.
sell you a wee ticket.
We asked the
Oh,
question.
so
on our
we
podcast.
don't get complimentaries here.
we're promoting this year. This is
You get a wee 10% discount.
So just moving on for that. What is the future for Zang then? What's it looking like post lockdown, or
Release some new tunes and get a gig in. To be able to practice again would be great. I would love that. Do you know what? Not being able to sing day in, day out, it's kind of depressing.
so are you still in regular contact and things like that as well, though?
Yeah, we still chat on the group, and we're just they're Sean and I think Sean and Donald are kind of editing tracks at the moment, but it kind of needs all of our input. But obviously, we're not there. I'm not there.
Aye, well, you're not both. Aye, you've escaped for a wee while.
Keeping myself on back.
You've escaped the Shire. But no, it was good to hear that you're still being productive. You know,
What about Harley's? Are they getting set up ready for getting back in with the live music? How's that going?
Yeah,
And what's
absolutely.
the difference? Sorry, Eleanor, what's the
Sorry?
difference between Harley's and then playing Furies? Like they have live gigs at Furies sometimes, and then I think they're doing any live gigs at Vinyl.
I think in the future they'll definitely look to having something there, but like Furies, I think needs to be established as kind of like a different lives event space that like hopefully like touring bands will come and play. Whereas Harley's is kind of like the cover band, the classic like indie like cover like original music as well. But definitely on live, there's changes coming to Harley's. The team have been working so hard in Harley's; it's insane. So hopefully,
I mean,
that'll be open soon.
you know, you've got to give Funky's dues. He's willing to take a gamble on and putting, you know, relatively new acts on there as well. You know, and I've worked with Scott. Scott, you've worked with Funky. I've done a bits and bobs for Funky, and we've put gigs on, and you know they've been great. And you know he can't be more accommodating. But you know, it is a platform. Like I think that it's a great platform for any up and coming band to go and play in here.
I think it's a good starting venue, and
really,
like
I really hope he continues it and keeps on giving the bands a chance.
Yeah, I agree, Ellie. It is a good
Definitely.
starting venue. It's a good bit to cut your teeth and then get folk doing and play gigs in there. And I like how they've kept doing it. Whether because you get some places where they'll try music out and it'll no work and they'll be like, right, we're just stopping it. Whereas Harley's have just kept it going, just keep it going. But that's great, and it's great to see that Zang will be bringing out new music. So you're going to record the songs you've done and then get your new music. It's pretty similar to us. We have kind of been playing songs now for about 3 or 4 years. We're getting in to get them recorded with our new guitarist and just get them out so that we've got a piece of work there to just
New
give out.
guitarist. Well, the thing is, we've got new guitarist, new producer, new everything at the moment. And
well, for anything like Podium Queen, I'm gonna be a fan.
Podium Queen? Well, this. That's your favourite song?
Podium Queen, sweet 16. She shouted through neon lights she wants to. Catches my eye when I was driving by. I'll chase you down in the dead of night 'cause I want to. We came back from London in the 17. We danced all night on the Ramsey and we cried 'cause we want to.
Do you like that one, Ellie?
Oh, I love it. Honestly, I do listen to it. Like I'd say, like at least once a week. It's on my playlist.
Yeah, that's a proud moment. That song, I love that. Yeah, I do love that. I'm quite proud of it.
It is a favourite
as well.
It's a favourite to play, isn't it?
It's so boppy, and like I want to know the lyrics so badly, so I can like pure sing along to the chorus bit.
Scott, the next gig we do, we'll get Eleanor up and do a wee guest vocal with you.
Absolutely. No, I'll put the harmonies on.
Well, basically, do you want me to tell you?
I will kick AJ. You're sacked, mate. Ellie.
Wait, I'll tell.
She's a much better singer.
Since you asked, wait, I'll give you a wee insight to the song, right? Right, so me and my wife Jackie, so I wrote it about her, and the reason it's called Podium Queen is because she used to dance on the. She was a dancer, so she danced in the podiums at Madison's and the Metro and all that. So she was a dancer. And she used to dance for Ultrasonic as well. So she used to dance for Ultrasonic as well. So she was into all that. So Podium Queen, that's how we get the name. And the song is basically about how we met, and then the bit about New York's were honeymoons. So the Upper West, where you said yes, well basically the Upper West of New York, where you said yes. And you do, and then there's a lyric in it. You do the splits in time and put your feet behind. Well, she's Jackie's party piece when she's drunk is just doing the splits anywhere. So just walk down the street and just do the splits. And then the feet behind thing is it's that one. It's a wee party trick she's got where she'll
that's
go to
right.
somebody and she turns her feet
that's horrible.
back. So that's that bit. And the chorus came back from London into 17. So I was living in London at the time, and Jackie came down to visit now and again. We decided to come back to London into 17, which was the flat number that I lived in here. We danced all night in the mezzanine. Well, my flat had a mezzanine, so you had the bedroom and then a mezzanine looking onto the living room, and we used to use that mezzanine as a stage type thing. Down in the mezzanine, danced all night, and then it was last minute call into 26, so I'd just got a mortgage to go move to 26 Moore Park, so we'd got this new house, right? And I was leaving my work to go self-employed, and we just got a mortgage at the last minute. And then credit card limit's going to take a hit is the bit that we've moved into.
Oh, I
this
love
house.
that bit.
We've moved into this house, but we're absolutely fucking skint. So I don't know how we're going to be able to pay for it. So basically that's what the song's about, and it.
I mean,
and I had to write it to a beat because I had my head Jackie dancing to it in the video and all that thing. So
the thing is, it was a completely different song years ago.
Yeah,
Scott, I mean, like this. Believe it or not, Podium Queen was one of the songs where even before like Scott started, Scott started going out and performing, just as as ourselves. So we played Wendy Ho and things like that. This was one of the first songs.
And Andy, we were called Sandy.
Just Sandy, aye. But this was one of the first songs that Scott had sent me and said, "What do you think of that? Brilliant." But it was one of the ones that, like, where did you go with it? And it sounded completely different to what it does now. It's just grew.
Eleanor, do you like the Netflix show Orange Is the New Black?
Yeah.
Well, see the lead song in that by Regina Spektor.
Yeah.
That's what Podium Queen's meant to sound. That was the.
Oh really? Yeah.
See the drum at the start of that. Well, that's the vibe I had for Podium Queen. So see in my head when I wrote it, I wanted it to sound like that, and the chords and the structure came for. Do you know the song for the Steve Miller Band, Abracadabra? Abracadabra.
Yeah.
Well, I was learning to play that, just mucking about, and I accidentally hit the chord next to it, like just one up, and then I thought, God, they two sound alright together. So that's the song. That's that. It's absolutely genius, and it's a great song. And I tell you, no enough folk listen to it. Do you know what I mean?
I honestly don't think there's anything that, like, what a tribute to your wife to write a song that's lovely like that.
It's cool. It's cool. I think so. But anyway,
then I got my hands in it.
Enough about us. Enough about us. Back to yourself anyway. Did you enjoy tonight's podcast? Have you had fun?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. Like, it's the first thing I've done on a Friday night in about a year, so.
It's great, and I like this. The Fridays seem good. The Fridays seem alright.
I don't know. I don't know if I can keep up with all the beer and all that. You know, like there's bottles upon bottles. I've had 6, mate. 7. 6. I'm with 7.
Well, I've had 2 Stellas, so that's like 8 beers. Yeah, it's a great album tonight. So it sits at number 23 in my chart. Adrian, have you had fun tonight? Have you enjoyed that?
Listen to Moby again. You know, just reminiscing a lot of songs that you've not heard probably I've not heard for a long time from that. So it's certainly been a good week.
Yeah,
I'm going to dig out my Groove Armada albums and my Tube albums and all that, and go and sit and listen to them. I love me some Moby as well. So
and Left Field, get some Left Field out.
Get some Left Field. Mm-hmm. Left is a brilliant album.
And some Massive Attack as well.
Oh, wow.
Massive Attack. Yeah.
Wow.
Scott said that earlier on. I thought, Massive Attack. Forgot about them.
Wow.
Yeah, I quite like Massive Attack. So I'm going to play out. I'm going to play out with the song that it's no Moby or anything. But remember earlier I said we were talking about Kyle Faulkner, and he did What's Love Got to Do with It. Well, we're going to play out with that song because it's absolutely outstanding. So
can we play it with the song?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's
Alright.
no. We'll know. We should be all right.
Grammarly is your personal writing assistant for
But if anybody wants to watch Grammarly and go for that, then you can. That's a wee sponsorship for them, hopefully. But Eleanor, it's been an absolute delight to have
No,
you
thank
on.
you. Thank you.
And good luck with Zhang and good luck with the rest of lockdown up in Arbroath.
Thank you.
Lovely. Never been up that way, but I take it there was snow
Yeah.
a few months ago. Yeah.
And mansions as well, because Eleanor was telling me about the one she stays in.
Oh, and she's doing a mansion.
The mansion.
Okay then, so thanks to Zhang's lead singer Eleanor Hill. You'll see Eleanor back down in air performing and at Harley's as well. And thanks again to Andy and Adrian, the tremendous Pelikan Road drummer, who's back this week. Next week we have, I'm trying to think who we've got next week.
Who have we got next week?
It's your friend Stephen.
Oh, it's
Dewar.
Stephen Dewar, but I don't know. I need to confirm if we can get him on a Friday or the
Yeah.
Sunday.
Right, well, we'll confirm him, and we still need his album as well. So Stephen Dewar.
Aye.
So anyway, we're finishing off Friday night. Kyle Faulkner. Good night.
You must understand, though the touch of your hand makes my pulse react, that it's only the thrill of boy meeting the girl, opposites attract. It's physical and only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do with it? And what's love but a second-hand